Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Are we recording?
Hello.
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 Hello. That one sucks. Do it one more time. Hello.
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 Hello. Hello. We are
Hey.
Clika Podcast. Welcome. I am Chris, and I'm sitting next to...
Joel.
Sitting next to...
Rick.
Sitting next to...
Manny Moonshine.
Sitting next to...
Boggle.
And we're Clika Podcast.
So we're in the beautiful city of Whittier, Uptown Whittier.
Uptown Whittier. Really nice.
What's the name of the record store?
Mxxnshine Records.
Oh yeah, how long you been here?
I've been here for, it's going to be 2 years in August, the first week of August like 2nd or 3rd or 4th, something like that.
So tell us, what do you sell here?
I sell vinyl records, cassette tapes, and LPs and 45s.
We saw one 8-track here, right?
Yeah, one 8-track, two
Where?
8-tracks. Oh, one 8-track left of Johnny Cash.
Holy shit. Look at that.
It's looking badass right there.
Yeah.
That is badass.
And look, you can even tell what time is in Japan. Look upstairs. Look up there.
Japan, London,
yeah.
and New York is off by 1 hour.
Hey, I'll tell you, this is a badass record store, man. Badass.
I can't stop looking at the Wham record you have in the background.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. That and the Barry Manilow is probably my favorite. That Barry cut is pretty froey.
You can't forget about Cheryl Ladd. I saw that tucked in the corner over there in the U-Haul,
you
by the
did
U-Haul
see that?
boxes. Yeah, right there. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah, that's actually going out, so it's going into the donation. So if anybody's a Cheryl Ladd fan here, that's all your guys to take.
I'll tell you, no, it's awesome that a place like this is still up and running, because I just read on Facebook, on I think it was Blabbermouth, that Best Buy is one of the more bigger major store. Yeah, they're canceling all CD sales. They're not gonna sell CDs anymore there, and Target's next to go.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about
But
that too.
Best Buy is still gonna sell vinyl.
Yep.
Wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's
so
kinda
that's
cool.
like vinyl making a comeback in a
Nice.
sense,
In
But-
a big way, and it's
Yeah.
coming back in a big way.
And I just bought a Tribe Called Quest, the new one,
nice.
at Best Buy.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, they had it there. It's like, fuck it. I had already had bought it, and I bought it again. Fuck it. 'Cause
Oh,
I
yeah.
was there.
Yeah, are you the Mike Ness of the yeah, slow good guitar and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, we still
The
have it
scowl
up
and everything. Yes, yeah, there you go, there you go.
We're back on it.
We're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
So, Manny, man, let me ask you, man. So, what made you sell out of all the medium that we can listen to? Why did you choose to sell vinyl?
And actually, I wasn't even really looking to sell vinyl. And, I had a comfortable job with Bank of America at one time. And, was kind of working my way up the ranks. And I was kind of just collecting records and buying records. And this was at the time when Serato came out. And a lot of guys were getting rid of their records. And they were just giving them away because they had this, they had it available. They had, they can make space now and have all that, take the entire party with them in their laptop. So I was literally buying all these records for cheap. And I had an entire house full of records, and just little by little. And then it just eventually came back that I happened to have all these records. And, it was one thing that was kind of making its comeback with, the younger generation.
How many years of record collecting do you have here in this business?
Well, in my own personal collection, I started in about 91, 92. This collection here, since, this is actually the majority now, has become the community collection from people coming in, people who walk back and forth from the movies. They see my sign, they see what I do, and a lot of them are swap meters. And they're like, "Wait, I got a bunch of, I sell at the swap meet." I'm like, we see this all the time. So they're kind of like my middleman right now.
Oh, wow.
Bringing me stuff daily. So it's kind of cool.
That's awesome. And I bet you get from everything within the spectrum, from I'm sure rock to everything else that falls after that.
From rock to cumbia to house music to
The Munsters.
The Munsters up there, the
Wow.
Buju Banton, the Midnighters, Arrested Development.
Shit. Is that the Munster soundtrack?
Yeah, actually,
Wow.
yeah, it is actually.
Holy shit.
Is that Wham on your wall right there?
That's Wham back there behind me, as they should be.
El Manguero. El Manguero. Oh, wow.
Yeah, he looks pretty dope up there. Then we got, Whittier's finest, the Midnighters, East LA's finest.
Oh, shit.
Arrested Development up there. Some Patty Drew. Some blues with Albert King.
Wow.
El Cantinero with Jose Alfredo Jimenez.
Wow.
What's up with
I have that on
Boggle's twin?
cassette. That the Cantinero.
Dude,
Twin and Manguero.
that is the album to drink to,
Oh yeah.
if you're a Latino in Los Angeles and you've probably drank to El Cantinero at one time.
I did.
Cheers to him.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I got my
Cheers.
drink.
Cheers.
Exactly.
Cheers.
Cheers. El Cantinero.
You got Strictly Prima in there.
This is what the studio should look like.
Yes.
But
It is.
yeah, I mean, this is, it's become my clubhouse. This is like, my spot. This is where I come home every day. I get to meet people, like Bago. I get to meet people like, like yourself, you guys coming down. So it's beautiful. It's, you guys are in my dream right now. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and that's what the reason I came here is because I had just moved to this area. And I was like, fuck, I need a record. I was itching, I'm a digger, I'm always fucking, and I moved in there. I'm like, fuck, I need a record store. So fucking Googled up. He came up. Fuck yeah. Drove over here. Took me like 10 minutes to get here. Flew. Boom, came in here, said what's up to him. I told him what's up. Boom. Now we're here.
So
Yeah.
basically, the reason why we're here is two nerds from Seattle got together and started a website, and then years later, Boggle used it to find you.
Really?
Yeah, and that was Google.
That's just like that, yeah.
Shout out to Google.
And the stars aligned, and and the lions roared, and it was amazing. Just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, hell yeah, man. What is your like your main record genre you sell here, man? Like, what is the main ones that people ask for here?
It fluctuates. Really funny. Sometimes it'll be my 80s disco funk freestyle, that boogie stuff that's real popular up here in LA and in the West Coast. That was their thing before hip hop. That was only that stuff. So that's still really big up here. And soundtracks, for some reason, just the last couple of months, I've been selling a ton of soundtracks. Música Latina. For some reason right now, though, hip hop is my slowest, and I think I feel like the newer generation, the younger generation, a lot of them just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Not like it seems, and that's what I get. I see them digging the jazz, though.
Mm-hmm.
And these are a lot younger cats than I barely got into jazz a couple years ago. And these guys are 18, 19 years old,
wow.
Jazz cats. So it's kind of cool to see them into, something that I was not into,
Yeah, actually, I walked in here a while back, and this guy must have been probably like 16. And they were in high school, I know that for a fact, because they had like their backpacks and shit. And this guy came and asked you, I go, he's like, you have some Louis Armstrong?
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
All day.
That's crazy, man. That just this tripped me out, man, to see some young cat, like, for him to know that,
Yeah.
right away. And he was digging here for a long time, too.
Yeah.
And he probably bought it. I know he bought it because I left right before he came.
It's really cool because I get my women diggers here. I get my young diggers. I get older parents bringing in their kids, saying, kind of showing them the ropes of what they liked. So it's a really cool little place where people get to bond or kind of reminisce. Or a lot of people, they say, hey, I get my therapy in here. There's
That's
guys,
awesome.
there's people who don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
I don't want you to talk to me. I just want to flip the records. And yeah, you leave them alone.
Yeah, for some people, like you said, it's therapy. Walking in here, browsing, and just going, saying, okay, I got a lot of free time today. I'm going to go record to record to record to find what I like. I know that's what I like to do. I have what's called the monthly music binge. And I'll go to record store to record store to record store, and I binge. I look, and I'll spend hours at spots just looking for shit that I like until I'm satisfied with what it is that I get. And usually what I'll do is I'm like, okay, I'm going to get that one, I'm going to get this one, I'm going to get here and there and everywhere. I'll have a stack, and then I'll, skim through the stack, and I'll be like, okay, I want this one more than that one, so I'm going to take this one. So it's a process. It's a process.
Man, you have no idea, man. When I was living in Long Beach and I was living by myself, I remember having to make those decisions where you're like, man, do I pay the light bill or do I pick up this, or do I pick up this Travis record? And actually, this is one of the things that I really, even to this day, I should have fucking picked up that Travis record because I knew I was never going to see it again. And it was only $9 and it's like $150 record. And that only $9. That's how broke I was, where I was like, shit. Do I pay the rent? I mean, I don't know. Do they do extensions now? Is that the thing? So I was like, yeah. I was like, you know what? I don't have it. I don't have it. You know. So even to this day, that's one of those ones that got away. I still think about that record.
I'll tell you. Shout out to my dog here, Bago, for turning me on to buying vinyl because I rediscovered a lot of stuff buying vinyl, and I couldn't be more happier. You know, going out there and making my collection grow now. I see how it was when I first started to the way it is now. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going to have to buy another bookshelf for this shit, you know?
And I told him, I go, I'm sorry. I'm apologizing ahead of time because you're about to get your head fucked up, man. Yeah. You're about to go crazy with record shopping.
Yeah. And all it took was him showing me like 2-3 records. Look, bro. I'm like, dude, where'd you get that? Oh, some fucking store in Torrance. Oh, look at this one, bro. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna start buying vinyl.
Yeah, and then you start going and you start going to these different shops, you start going to these different stores, different cities that you wouldn't normally go to. Then you're like, you know what? I just saw a cool little taco spot. I'm gonna be the cool boyfriend and take my girlfriend to random Torrance downtown, and we're gonna have dinner. You know, and it's just the same thing with Uptown. You know, like I wouldn't come to Uptown, but hey, walking around, I just passed a restaurant. Mas puto. I'm going to go take my freaking girlfriend, you know? Mr. Sly Guy, you know?
And even now, like, when I travel abroad, the first thing I do is Google nearest record store to me. I went to Phoenix last month, and I went to 3 different record stores near where I was staying at, and man, I came up on a lot of shit, you know? A lot of really good stuff. Phoenix has a lot of hidden gems out there,
really?
You know? Yeah. Shout out to Revolver Records, Stinkweed Records. I got some good additions to my collection there, so thank you very much.
I heard about Revolver. Yeah. I heard about that.
Also, shout out to Mxxnshine Records.
I was about to say that. I was waiting. You've been kind of quiet the whole time, but you were like, you know what? This is my time.
my time to shine. Well, now that I got you on the mic, let me ask you. In your own private collection, what is your most prized record? I know you have one. You look like a guy that does.
You know, and it's not an expensive record. And I've actually, some people have actually asked me that many times. But my most prized possession record is a Donna Summers record that my sister gave me, because that's the one that sparked everything. That's the one that I had a big relationship with my older sister, and once she left, and you know, she was younger, so she would go out and you know, with her boyfriend on Friday nights, and I'd cry because I wanted to be with my sister. So she one day gave me her record, and she showed me how to put the needle down and everything, and the Donna Summers Bad Girls, you know, and I that's the one I'm gonna run out with, even though it's only like a $2, $3 record. I've got, you know, Rare Records. That's the one.
That's the prize down?
Yeah, that's the one.
You know, that's funny. You just said Bad Girls, and I'm fucking high, so I started playing the song in my head, the Donna Summer song.
Yeah,
that's what's wrong with Chris. He's high.
I know. I know. That's the first time I heard that in the podcast.
Yeah, it was pretty quiet. Yeah,
all right, what's your rarest Menudo album we have here?
You know,
he automatically knows where it's at. That's what I like looking.
You know, now, are we going post Ricky, or are we going? You know,
let's go.
No.
Or what about
back the fuck up? There is no Menudo without Ricky.
Oh, that's a
Ricky was Menudo.
I'll drink to that.
You know,
cheers, cheers, Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin, Menudo.
Ricky Martin was like the hominy in the Menudo. Like you got pozole if you don't get it.
He's the caldo, dude. Without the caldo, he's the juice. He's the juice.
The rest are oregano and fucking limon and all that shit.
Repollo.
Okay. Have you ever been so fucking hungry in the morning or a kid or whatever, and you just took a little bite of that jelly mold of the Menudo in the morning?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. That's when you get the bread. And, you know, you pick that sucker up. Oh man.
No, but what's your rarest record you have here?
You know, in the shop, you know, I you know, there's a handful of them The one that I would say right now that's kind of cool that I have is a Ralphie Pagan signed napkin, which is really cool because he was murdered and his career was rather short. That's kind of cool. I got some James Brown autographs in here. What else? I'm trying to think. I got a James Brown acetate, which is an acetate record is the pre of anything record. Anything before it gets pressed to anything, they're gonna make an acetate record, and then from there it goes to a test pressing. From the test pressing, goes into the what they're really gonna put on the album. Yeah, and yeah, so that's really cool. Something like that's kind of cool. It feels different. It's got a cold metallic feel to it, rather than a vinyl, kind of a warmer, flimsier. So that metallic, when you've got an acetate record in your hand,
you can't play them. You can't play them too many times.
You don't play, exactly. You can't play them too many times. They're not made for DJ play or anything like that. But you can get some really rare. Records in acetates. Especially some Elvis stuff, some Jerry Lee Lewis stuff. A Jerry Lee Lewis acetate, I think, just sold for a couple $1 million. Jeez.
That's
because there's stuff in there that we probably would never hear. Yeah, on the acetates, they're pretty much pre promo. Yeah, pre demo, like fuck it, let's just see what happens.
Before we go any further, how about this breakdown? What's a record? Okay, tell us the differences.
Well, records, actually, a record started like in the 1800s, 1880s, with Edison. Edison's the first DJ, and Edison is he's literally this is
DJ Ed,
DJ Edison. It ain't Tesla. Differently, it's Edison. And Edison, was the one who came up with the technology of getting it all together and. The first couple of pressings in the 1800s, which I do have. Actually, my sign outside is an 1880s record, spray painted in red.
Oh, sure.
But those were made out of trash. They were compressed out of a bunch of different things back in those days, and they would get that. They would be able to get that sound out of there. And then, as technology went through, the records got a little thinner. They got made with different, before they were made with shellac. From up until like 1958, a lot of records in 78s that spun at 78 revolutions were made of shellac. Really? Which is totally different than vinyl and less durable.
They're heavy. They're heavier.
They're heavier, and they're like right now they're crispy and they can break like glass. But a lot of the late rock and roll, when rock and roll first started coming into play, they were phasing out those records. So they're really sought after in regards to a 78 rock and roll record.
Gotcha.
And then you get the long play, which is what we do now, the LP, long play, the 45, which the only reason it's a 45 is because it spins at 45
beats per minute.
No, revolution
per minute.
Yeah. And then that's pretty much it. That's as basic as it can get.
And 33. It's 33
revolutions
per minute.
So it spins around 3 times.
What about the different sizes? Different sizes?
The size 7 inches. So 45 is, they call it the 7-inch record. It's just 7 inches across. You can measure it. The LP, also the 12-inch. 12 inches, they refer to those as singles, but it's still 12-inch record. And
what's the name of that little thing that goes in the middle of the 7-inch?
Oh, just an adapter. Just
the
adapter.
Then you had the 78s.
Thought I had a cool name. That's just a snip snap,
I was gonna make something up right now, but I couldn't think of it.
That's the boggle.
It's a quadruple quantifier.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna play some 45. Can you pass me the blump?
Yeah. The panuch.
But it's funny that people back then, like they didn't realize that these things could be worth a lot of money at one point, because they used to just get those things like those old Beatles records, the old Rolling Stone records. They used to just get them and just throw them away after they played them. And if I could time travel and go back to those days, man, when those records were first sold at the stores.
I hear people. I have customers that come into the shop right now, and they tell me, "Oh, I just threw truckloads away. I didn't know you were here." I was like, "Oh, wow." Wow, yeah, really.
Thanks for breaking my heart.
The agony, like
I just gave you a bunch of information you can't use. Yeah. See you later.
I went to a garage sale once. A lady had some records there, right? I stopped him, fucking raped mine, fucking put my shit up. I went out there. I go, hey, excuse me, let me see what kind of records you got. Are you selling? These are my last ones. I just threw away about 10 crates yesterday because I didn't need them.
Yep.
I'm like, fuck, are you serious, man? She's like, yeah, I just threw them away. I didn't need them.
Well, look at my neighbor, Martin. You met him.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy goes all over the world and brings back all kinds of shit.
Really?
Yeah. Bago's going through, I'm like, oh, damn.
He has a pretty decent collection.
A lot
Yeah.
of shit,
Wow,
man.
man.
He brought back some Brazilian stuff last time. And he's
Brazilian
like,
shit. Imagine that.
And he's put it on eBay. What's the name of that website where you saw the records
Discogs?
from? Yeah, he
Discogs.
goes on there and he puts it on there and makes a pretty good penny on it.
Yeah, you know, and I've been relatively lucky being in where I'm at, my location here in this little walkway here that I got. You know, I got little, crazy cholos, hey, homie, hey, dog, hey, you buy records or what, eh? So, I buy, sometimes they're only looking for a tall can, so,
When it's busy out here and stuff like that, and you got people walking up and down this walkway here, are you bumping your system here and it gets a lot of attention? And
yeah, actually, I started bringing records outside, and I'm putting records outside. There's my 99-cent bin stuff, and let them rummage through it, and that'll kind of bring them at least to the window. Once they get to the window, then they'll kind of then I'll play something. If I even see them pull something out that I can see, I'll play something similar. So they're like, oh, hey, I think they have more of that stuff inside.
Did they ever tell you, hey, man, can you bump this record for me real quick so I can listen to it?
No, bro, you have no idea, man. I've had guys that come in here with no money, with no intentions of buying records. And they'll be like, oh, hey, man, can you play this for me? And, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, maybe they want to buy this. So, and they'll be like, oh, okay, cool. And I got a stack of fucking like 20 records, man.
Wow.
And they're like, oh, well, I'll get paid on Friday. I'm like, motherfucker, it's Tuesday. What the fuck are you doing in here? Like, get out of here. So that kind of pisses me off in regards to, those are the little agony things that, the things that, situations that we have are things that come up in a record store.
Yeah, we name those people Chris.
Hey, I used to just listen to the headphones and
the Chris's.
Hey, man, speaking about customers, do you remember your very first customer?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Shout out to Building Block for his game, man. He's a local digger. He's a well-known digger on Instagram, and he was my first dude. He was the first guy. At least official. There was two girls that came in when I was first getting things situated, and they were looking in here. I'm like, you want to come in? Come check it out. So those two girls are actually my official.
What up, girl?
And yeah, really, yeah. And their girlfriend, they're a couple. They're really sweet, man. They come in here and they buy my punk rock records.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What did they buy? Remember a record they bought?
Yeah, actually, one bought a Depeche Mode record for her girlfriend for, I think it was Valentine's Day. Hooked her up though. I took care of her, and I was telling them that they're my first, and I love them for that. How
many cholos walk in here with bigger police records?
Oh,
record
bro, man,
records.
It's not even that bigger pants than their records, than the records that it's. But I love my homies, man. I can't say nothing bad, dog. Homie. It's just a different breed, eh? But
and for our listeners out there, what is the price range that you have your records out here for?
The price range here at Mxxnshine Records is going to be anywhere from literally probably 99 cents, sometimes free. If I'm not even filling it, take it. Yeah. But we'll say from free up to a couple $100. Just depends on what you're really looking for.
Awesome.
And if you're really, really looking for something, I'll definitely help you out and trying to find what you're looking for. I'm not going to let you just walk away with something whack. I'll let you hear it before you take it home. Make you feel confident of the purchase rather than you just be like, well, shoot.
I like that, man. You're making it more personal than just some sort of business transaction, and I think that's important. It's important for people to feel like, you know what? This person gets me. They're just not trying to sell me a record or whatever, or trying to sell me off with some bullshit. It's when you make it personal like that, you can identify with the person. I think it makes the whole experience in itself, just a great one.
Yeah, I learned that, in working in retail, being in retail management for all through the 90s. I worked, if you went to Cerritos Mall in the 90s, I probably helped you out.
Where?
I was the manager at Hot Topic. I was the manager at PacSun. I worked at
I think I bought some Baby Gap from you. I'm not sure.
No, I worked at the regular Gap.
Oh shit!
Yeah, actually, I worked at the regular Gap in Brea. That's where. Yeah. So
didn't you work at Torrance too?
I worked in Torrance.
At
I
the
worked at the Wilson's Leather. I was the manager there.
Whoa, wait a minute. I bought a leather jacket from there back in the 90s.
Bro, I was there, dude. I was the man.
You gotta support it. You gotta support it on the next podcast. The all leather podcast starring Bago.
Yeah, really.
See, Chris used to go to the Baby Gap to buy his underwear, dude.
I was about to say, dude.
They have a better fit. I don't know.
Yeah, his undershirts, right?
They're like Snuggies.
Nah, that's cool. Hey, that's dope that you say. Cause see, when I go dig, it's not just about the records. It's about how I feel there. You know, if I feel comfortable, in there just digging, that's what I like about. It's like to relate to the, and not just like you said, like he was saying, you're not just here just to sell records. You're actually here to build a relationship with somebody.
For sure.
You're like the doctor. You always go back to that doctor because he hooked you up.
Yeah. That's what brings them back, dude.
The mechanic, anything like that.
And
people
you know
come
what?
in here.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, people come in here. They really do. They dig, and they'll tell me what's bugging them, what happened, what's going on with their day. And, I have no bias, and I'll tell them straight out, this is what I think. Whether it's good or bad, I've had deep conversations with some of my customers. And I'll tell them straight up, this is what I think. I think you're fucking up. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell them, maybe no one can tell you. Maybe someone's afraid to tell you, but you're fucking up. And I'll tell them, this is why I think. I don't know you, so it's not like I can base it on our past. I'm telling you what I think, and what the situation you're telling me. This is what I think. You want my opinion? I'm still record store owner. I'm still gonna sell you records. But if you're gonna ask me my opinion, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion.
Like it or not.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
at Mxxnshine Records, not only can you get records, you can also get a free therapy session.
You really can.
He's got a couch in the back.
Yeah. A small stool.
You got the first NWA record, and can you help me out with my problem? I have AIDS, and I didn't know how to give it. Tell my girlfriend that I got it.
Yeah, sure.
I'll tell you.
Yes to both.
People like you are significant to people like me. Reason being is because I'm not one of those individuals that listens to Spotify or all of these other streaming sites or what have you. Mm-hmm. I'm still OG. I listen to CDs. I listen to records, and I don't like none of that polished digital, streaming crap. I still need to feel the originality of a record or a CD or something like that.
Yeah.
That type of shit's important to me. Also, we're all musicians here, so it's like we understand what it means to have something true and original and real. And I read today when I was reading this editorial, this article or what have you on the whole, extinction of the CD, so to speak. They were talking about how it affects people like me who don't, listen to Spotify and aren't always on YouTube and streaming shit, and it sucks. Yeah. It sucks because now you don't have the experience, or you won't have the experience of waiting outside, like back in the day when you would wait outside Tower Records to buy that fucking record or that CD because the band itself was gonna be there to sign autographs and shit. Like now you just fucking turn on your computer and bam, it's there.
Now they sign your screen when you're on Spotify.
Yeah.
Right.
I bought
now they send you a video message. Hey man, thanks.
Thanks.
It's
email.
The mystery's not there anymore. I mean, everything's out there, and it's just the evolution of the music business. They started distributing and selling records, and then they went up to, different tape mediums, and then the CD, and this is just another progression in the music industry. It's not. I'm pretty sure somebody was sitting around here talking about, I don't know about the CD crap. I'm not gonna buy my records over again. It's an evolution of medium. And the MP3s and the streaming service is just a cheaper way to put out content. So of course the record company, because a record costs more money to make than a CD does, and a cassette does.
But then now you're jeopardizing sound quality, and that's where people were starting to get it. We're like, whoa, but damn, this sounds like crap compared to what? Yeah. And now that someone played me the record or even the cassette tape or even the CD, and you're like, wow, But from an MP3 that it's a compacted bit of a piece of crap music, really.
Well, I totally agree that it is a poor quality product to put out there for your music.
But it's quick.
You could literally go from idea to pen to performance to recording within the hour. You could have a whole song done and up in minutes.
Yeah.
And seconds. and out to like 40,000 people, 40,000 listeners. So I mean, when it comes to like just having an actual physical record, it's for like the actual music fans.
It is, man. It's artwork too.
Yeah, you definitely the artwork. A lot of people come in here and they collect just for the artwork, or some of the artwork is amazing.
Yeah.
You have professional artists that who've done artwork. Like the ones that are really pretty sought after are the Andy Warhol ones. Andy Warhol
The Velvet Underground.
He did a handful of them, even jazz ones. A lot of jazz from the 50s. They have these really cool artwork that's just amazing. And even the 60s, all the psychedelic stuff and the styles that were in. You can go back and look at an 80s Kajagoogoo record and you're like, look at these dudes' hair, but that's how it was in the 80s.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That type of experience, with all this with the digital world age now and the streaming age now, it's just, you can't have that experience,
Okay.
And for the avid music aficionado, that is, a rarity.
It is.
Or I should say, it will be a rarity to have that.
And I think that's what the record company saw when they actually sat down and found out what this was, because it took them a long time to catch up to what MP3 was.
Yeah.
And that's what got Napster and other downloading sites, in trouble, because they barely found out. I was like, hey, you can't do that. It's copyright infringement.
What's the money? If if we're not making money, if they're not making money, that's not cool. So they want to make the most amount of money. So if they're not making money, and I understand it is what it is, but they want to look at it. That's why a lot of guys are going solo. That's why you get a lot of you get a lot of amazing artists that are not even pressing vinyl, that are not available on vinyl because they're just doing these MP3 full albums. That they're doing by themselves.
Because you got to pay the press, you got to pay the art guy, you got to pay for the printing.
Exactly.
And you got to pay for the trucks to pick them up and
The
distribute
label,
it to
even the label takes their chunk too.
Yeah, so you're not making anything. So if you got an MP3, you send it out right away. It costs them nothing, and their profit margin's way up.
Yeah, and there's a couple of records that are out like right now that are worth a lot of money. Chance the Rapper has a bootleg out of his first album, Acid Rap, and that's worth a couple $100. People will pay up to $500-$600 for that record. Just because it's not available on vinyl, but it was something that he did by himself and no label, and and it's showing that a lot of these kids, that all of us obviously with we dreamt of a radio station of our own. You guys are doing it by yourselves.
Yeah.
I remember wanting to have a record store.
And that attitude kept him being one of the highest paid, streamers out there, because he didn't have to go through the record company and do that 360 deal and all that.
Yep.
Going back to Chance the Rapper, or just the whole idea that you said you did it by yourself. When you started this, man, was there any challenges you had to opening a record store, man, and that you accomplished actually after?
No, just carrying inventory. Inventory was the main thing that I really, really thought about. Was my biggest fear, was getting inventory, having inventory, and having the records, that people wanted. There's a ton of records. I still DJ, so there's still a ton of records that I want. That have come through here that I don't even have in my own collection. But I'm like, well, it's for the good of the store. I need to sell it, and
but you could borrow it, right?
Yeah, when I borrow it and I look at it at home, I'm like, I thought I sold this. Then it's at the house, and I'm like, but yeah, but hold on, I'm having a stoner moment. But yeah, what were we saying?
Marijuana affects memory.
Really?
About the challenges and anything you accomplished here at the spot.
Yeah, and to me was inventory. The first couple of months, and people knowing where I was, because I'm not in the record collector magazines. I'm not in your record media. The way you have to kind of find me is either at first it was word of mouth, or Instagram or Facebook, or somebody who had been here and had a positive experience. And that's the first year was all about catering to my customers and getting to know them. So when they came in here, they knew that, oh, this is not just your regular spot. Homie knows I have a brother. A guy came in here and his mother was really sick when he came in with his mom. His mom had passed away. I'm like, how's your mom doing? Oh, my mom passed away. Thank you for even asking. And it's little things that I know. I know people who have, kids. How your kids doing? I always ask. How you kids doing? How's your family doing? How's work? You know, talk to me. How's everything, man? You know,
Sit down over there in that couch where I have.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
you know,
I got a couch in the back. Let me pull out my notepad. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, I'll give you my opinion. You know, and sometimes they don't want to talk. So hey, do your thing. You know, I'll fill you out. Do your thing, man. Get on it. We'll smoke this bowl.
That's important, man. That's important to have that connection with people. You know.
Yeah, and there's times where people come in here and, you know, it smells like weed in here. Yeah, it smells like weed.
It's a record shop. Deal with it.
You know, it's, you know, and there's times where people are like, you know, I don't dig that. That's totally understandable. There's another record store up the street. You know, I apologize, but I like to smoke marijuana. You know?
It reminds me of Half Baked, remember? They worked at a record shop and they're both potheads. The perfect place for them to work.
I live the life. People ask me, man.
$10 for a used Kenny Loggins record?
I'll give you 5. Or I'll give you
Autographed. I'll give you 4.
Yeah, you know, and people ask me, you know, that's, you know, but I come from a suit and tie and, you know, business with bank, you know, with the bank, and, you know, the way I saw that was cutthroat. Now I was all about the cutthroat. I like competition, but having a handful of deaths in my family made me realize what's really important in life, and that's about doing what you want to do. You know, and being good to your fellow man. There's no need to cross any of you guys or anybody. Well, that's including my customers. Whether they get one on me, hey man, that's cool. You know, but I just, you know, and it's funny. I walk in this little Zen thing now where I don't worry about what's going on, man. And you know, right now I'm living a charmed life. You know, but what got me here was definitely my mom passing, my brother passing, one of my best friends passing, and my niece passing, all within 6 months. You know, and tomorrow's not promised. You know, tomorrow's not promised. So you guys got to go out there and get what you guys really want to get, man. Whether it's whatever the fuck it is, get it. You know, whether it's your girlfriend stopping you. You know, nobody's stopping you. It's not your girl. It's not your mom. It's not your past. It's you. It's you as an individual that's not getting what you whatever it is, flipping tortillas or whatever it is that makes you happy. That makes you happy.
Cheers to that. Amen.
You know,
Amen.
Cheers.
Amen.
You
True
know,
that. True that.
Salute.
Amen.
You know, I was really willing to throw it all away, and when I made that transition out of the bank, and I told my girl, I was like, I'm gonna start a record shop, with or without you. If you're down, stay. If not, you know, but this is what I'm gonna do. And I did it, and I'm doing it, and it's kind of cool.
Awesome.
You know, and you guys are here. It's pretty rad.
And I'll tell you what is promised, though. We promised that you could find any kind of vinyl you want out there at Mxxnshine Records.
Just
That's
about.
right.
Just about.
Just
That's
about.
right.
What's the address here?
Oh man, I was so bad with the address because I smoke so much, and I always have to get the little card. But it's 7028 Greenleaf Avenue, Suite H.
Uptown Whittier.
Yeah, I think it's Suite H. Yeah.
Uptown Whittier.
Uptown
folks.
Whittier. We're in a little walkway right next to the movie theater, so you guys can't actually miss us. It's a cool little groovy walkway. We do crazy sales too. If you guys follow our Instagram, Mxxnshine Records with 2 X's, no O's, so it's Mxxnshine Records. It'll pop right up. And you'll see, man. We do crazy sales at 3 in the morning, 50% off. We just had one of those. We had a big sale today with $1.45s.
Nice.
Yeah, random stuff, man.
It's so funny.
You know, I just lost my phone. What's your number here?
Oh man! Oh, the number. I don't know me. Actually, the number is 562. You know, I'll tell you right now. Hold on.
Let's
I
get
got it right here. Hold on.
Let's get out.
Yeah, I'm so bad with the number, man.
Me too, man. I'm bad. I don't remember my.
I think it's got a 7
I don't
in there.
remember my own address still. I fuck up all the time.
Oh wait, there is no address.
I'm
here,
a fucking
or phone number
dyslexia.
here.
Dyslexia at its
I
finest.
kid you not. I thought it was Mexican Shine. Yeah, Mexican Shine. That's not what it was.
bro. I've had some. It's funny that you say that because I've had so many people walk by and say, "Hey, there's a new record store, Mxxnshine." I'm like, son of a bitch.
What
You
made
know,
you shoot? What
ladies
made you
and
do
gentlemen,
that?
the
What made you do
Oneaters.
that?
Yeah, really. I'm the Oneaters of the record community. you know?
What made you do that, XX?
You know, it was just the aesthetic of the actual lettering. I was like, you know, one day I'm like, hey, this shit looks kind of cool with the 2 X's. But, you know, Yeah, that's the only bad thing is people are like, I looked you up, I can't find you, you know. But I'm like, yeah, it's 2 X's, you know, so it makes me pay.
See, I honestly thought when I saw it on Instagram, I thought this was like a softcore porn type of place. 2 X's. Yeah. Only one ever.
We only go to second base over here. We only hit doubles over here.
Yeah, you have any softcore porn music?
You know, I do actually. You know, and I've got records that actually are made for stripping. It seems wow.
There is a genre for that.
These awkward white guys would have these records to kind of slowly bring them to a sexy point. But it's funny because the very first track is a fucking motor revving. I don't get that.
And then it just cuts to, you never clouse your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips.
Really? Yeah, some bad lounge singing.
Actually, I got that phone number here. It's 562-777-5308.
And you couldn't fucking remember that shit?
Bro, 5308. Yeah. Is that? Are you sure? No, I'm kidding.
7028 Greenleaf Avenue, Unit H.
Oh, yeah. So
Whittier. Mxxnshine Records.
Mxxnshine,
2 X's. Softcore.
How's the support here in the community, man?
Oh, man, don't get me started. You know, actually, you know what? No, it's not that. It's my situation with the association up here. But that's a whole nother animal and beast. You know, we all pay a premium to be up here, and it seems like we don't get the correct representation I feel that we deserve, and what we pay into, and what we can do as businesses. You know, that's what one thing that's really, really bugged me since I've been here. When I first got here, there were no lights in this hallway here, no walkway. This is the busiest walkway in Uptown, and there were no lights in this walkway. I fought to get these lights. I mean, I couldn't believe that the other businesses were here this long without these lights here. And I'm like,
this is weird.
This is my business. I put my money here, you know, and I want these lights to work. I want families to be able to walk through here. I want families to be able to look to my shop. This is all marketing. This is. I don't want to walk my family through a dark alley with a bunch of, you know,
tweakers and hobos.
Really?
A bunch of undesirables.
Bunch of bad kids up here.
When we're outside taking a break, we're going to look like those undesirables.
I know, huh? We look like undesirables ourselves.
If Chris sits down and puts his hat out, do you think they'll give him change?
I think they would. I think I got to trim my beard. I mean, it's just getting too wild right now.
Chris is going to be like, hey, man, you want a cheeseburger? Man, I'll suck your dick.
I got these cheeseburgers, man. I picture you know, I picture myself like the fucking junkie in American Me. That shit wasn't clean, man.
You know what's funny is Chris is starting to look like the Wookiee on his shirt.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
That's a nice freaking shirt.
That's a pretty cool shirt with his little wet. Look at CLA in the background. I don't know.
Is with a Pendleton, dude. It doesn't get better than that.
Oh, Star Wars, man. That's pretty cool. I can now. Yeah, I would say nothing would be cool with a rusty trombone, but I see it. You know.
Yeah, he's
Speaking about that, man, what kind of music you grew up on?
You know, I grew up on a little bit of everything. I grew up, I'm a foster child, and growing up in my little crazy world, a foster family played a lot of oldies, and it's funny, man. I always gravitated to the music, and I always remember where I heard things as a kid. And I had a gay neighbor, and
you had a gaber.
Yeah, I had a neighbor. Yeah, we had a red car. I'll never forget. He had a red car, and I was little. I was a little dude, man. I remember he'd always play Trans-X. That was the first time I ever heard Morrissey. It was the first time I ever heard like Depeche Mode, that stuff. And I remember every time he'd wash his car, I'd ride my little bike over there.
Oh shit!
And I'd want to just kind of hang out with him and just listen to what he was playing. Yeah. He was playing stuff that I didn't hear. You know, all the alternative stuff, I guess, at the time. And then I had my friends' brothers. I had like friends' brothers or somebody else to gravitate, since I didn't really have my own. And my friends' brothers, they were all into heavy metal, Van Halen and stuff like that. But that shit was a bunch of bullshit for me at the time. And then I'll never forget, I heard Egyptian Lover.
Oh, hell yeah.
I heard Egyptian Lover. I'll never forget it. I heard that. and so I heard that, and it
Fucking hell, you did the whole fucking
and it took me back. It took me back. Yeah. Oh man.
By the way, we got to introduce you to Schneeberg.
You already got introduced.
You already got introduced.
Oh, yeah.
all aboard on the late train. All aboard.
Yeah.
So then you got into that, and then it just evolved to another.
Yeah, I got into Schneeberg, and no, I'm kidding. You know, things hadn't been the same. I mean, all burnt down. I mean,
Speaking of Trans-X, do you have that on vinyl?
I do somewhere in there. Yeah, I do actually. Leave it on video. Yeah, there's
Hell
a couple
yeah,
of those. A Spanish version.
What's
or
funny?
What version?
Go,
A
go.
German version, I believe.
Really?
There's a German version in there and the English version.
Oh, well, we gotta dig it out before we go. Dude.
Yeah.
See, the funny thing is, every time he talks about music, when he mentions the particular artist, his eyes either move towards it or he points towards a certain
exactly.
direction.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because I gotta know. Yeah, you tell me, I'm like, okay, it's over there. I know it's over there. Yeah, so
Because you said something about James Brown, and then all of a sudden you looked around.
right here, right behind me. Yeah, man, that's
That's the
JB.
shit. See, that's when you know your shit in here, man. That's you have to. I mean, you have to be like that. You know?
Yeah, you know,
Your nature.
sorting, and going through all the records. I handpick all the records. I handpick and I buy all the records myself. So I know what comes in. I know what Yeah, I know what's literally in all these bins in here.
Do you network with other record stores?
That's a good question, man. Actually, at first I was a digger. I'm still a DJ, so I'm still DJing. So there's times where I want to flip through something different other than the records that I know what I have. So I'll go to Lavelle's up here right around the block. I mean, or Lobel's, excuse me. And they've been here since this. I'm assuming the late '60s, and they've been. They rode out the horse when nobody was buying records, and they're still, I have a lot of great memories of being in that shop.
Been
That's
That's how these shops survive, though. They have to weather the storm, don't they?
Yeah, and it's a little bit. You have to carry a little bit of everything. You got to carry, a little bit of all the different medias. And I think the one thing that I noticed when I was kind of doing my research with my little bunny ears, my research on record stores is one thing I always noticed is that the niche stores never survived. We just sell hip hop. Okay, but hip-hop guys sometimes buy funk, and hip-hop guys sometimes they buy rock, and sometimes they buy punk, so if you don't offer that in your shop, they're going to go somewhere else for it, so I know, excuse me, I noticed that was we only sell hip-hop, we only do punk, we only do metal. A lot of those shops didn't last unless you were a top dog. There's a handful of them that still are around, but not of those guys. A lot of them.
Yeah, that's how Zed Records was. He sold nothing but hardcore and punk, and they don't exist anymore.
But it's funny. I heard that Amoeba Music's in trouble. They're either going to close.
I think they got too big.
No,
they're doing good, but they got too big for their own good.
I
it's
heard
been
that
for a
a
while.
while back too, but that's been going on for a while. I think
they're talking about moving locations, though.
Yeah,
That's the whole thing.
They've had some shit going on for a while, but I think they've weathered all those storms.
Yeah.
Thankfully, because dude, honestly, fuck, I get a lot of shit from Amoeba. Records, CDs, posters, all that shit. They have everything.
You know who you should get a lot of shit from is Mxxnshine Records, right here on.
Yeah, exactly. In Uptown Whittier.
See, Amoeba, you don't get that personal touch like you do here.
You do not. You do not. You get to speak to the owner and smell his weed and
and even use his toilet.
Yeah,
that's important now.
And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now before I forget. If you want the Clika sticker, they're available at Mxxnshine Records.
They are
the newest one.
Yeah,
they are. Yeah, which is a really dope sticker, and the pins are available.
Yep.
Yeah, man. But I want to thank you guys, man. Shoot, you guys are fucking doing it too, man, and that's what inspires me. I get really inspired by what people do, and I'm really inspired by doers.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it, man. Do it. I see you guys doing it. You're doing it. So, I'm not one to talk. I've never been one to talk. I've gotten everything that I've wanted because I've propelled myself to get it. Wanted to be a DJ. I'm a DJ. Wanted a 55 Chevy. Got it because I wanted it. I got a shop because I wanted it and I got it. And there's a lot of sacrifice
Dude,
that
cheers
comes
to
with
that
stuff, the
shit.
things that you guys want. Thank you.
Dude, cheers
You
to
know.
that shit,
Cheers to
man.
that.
You know,
cheers.
and-
Cheers.
God damn.
You-
Damn, you are a psychologist, man.
No, with
Wow.
with little, no, but with little things like
You
you
have like
have
this,
to.
yeah.
The first thing that I did to realize that this was serious, that I was gonna get this record store, was I called Comcast. I was like, "Come get your fucking cable box. I don't even have time for your TV no more."
Wow.
But really, because if
very
I
true,
had
yeah.
time
That's
for
fucking
TV,
badass.
if I have time for TV, then I got time to develop myself and get what the fuck I want.
Mhm.
It's
You know
like-
what? That's an excellent concept.
You
That's
know?
excellent.
Gary V says, you have to eat shit for at least 2 years to be able to eat caviar.
100%. I make. You can even go right now. Even now that I'm making money. Not like how it was when I first opened. I still bring a lunch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't. You know, I'm putting that money away. I'm paying all my debts off. I don't. You know, because coming from the bank, debt is not a good thing. You know, so. You know, there's a discipline you have to have. I don't splurge. All the t-shirts I have or stuff that I wear is stuff that's given to me, or you know, that's it, man. Back in the day, though, I had the tightest Stacey Adams, the tightest slacks, Banana Republic, everything. But that's a different life I was living. You know, everything now goes to music and my family. You know, that's
It definitely comes with age too.
that
You know,
too, 100%.
I feel the older you get, the more humble you become.
Mm-hmm.
The more humility you know
Yeah.
That does.
surrounds you. You know, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I have to disagree with you because I'm an arrogant bastard.
Right here. Can Adam make Eve love like Eve makes Adam come?
What?
What
Can
the-
Joel
Camel.
think
Camel.
of another dumb bar joke that he could tell on the podcast?
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an acronym that you
Do you smoke? You smoke cigarettes?
No, I used to.
Oh
I
really?
used to back in the day, but
Oh.
I
But
fucking
he
quit.
smoked Parliament, so that he didn't
Parliament
really smoke.
Lights.
Parliament
P-Funks.
lights.
Yeah,
P-Funk.
he might as well
I
smoke.
was gonna say it, but
You
I
might-
didn't.
He might as well have smoked Virginia Slims.
I was about to say you might as well be smoking
tell you,
meat
dude.
cock.
My I know my the drummer in my band, or the ex drummer in my band, turned me on to P-Funks. I was a Marlboro Light guy for a long time.
Still not smoking cigarettes. Virginia Slims would have been way better.
Did
I
you ever
smoke
smoke cigarettes though?
cigarettes.
Did you ever
I-
have like a
I-
cigarette of choice?
These are
I-
mine.
Oh, those are yours.
He's
Oh,
he
okay.
smokes 2
smoked,
packs a day. How many?
Camels with this
9.
guy.
9 packs a day, maybe.
Dude,
Camels.
bro, you're already of age. You don't have to. You got nothing to prove anymore, dog. You're out of high school. You
What
don't
do
gotta
you-
smoke. You don't gotta smoke.
You know, I smoke because I'm physically and hopelessly addicted to things such as cigarettes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get the same way too. I'm. You know. I know that's. I don't go. You know. I don't have an addictive personality. I come from addictive family. You know. So I can't get. You know, I've never done. I've never done like hardcore drugs. Always been afraid of it. You know. So kids, stay away. Get into music.
Yes.
You know what?
Schneeberg's okay.
Well, record collecting
Schneeberg's
is just
fine.
about as expensive as a drug habit.
It's
Yeah.
my favorite addiction ever, dude.
And
Yeah.
it's just as addictive too.
It's the safest, man. It's really. It's the safest, and
You get good music, you get a good heart out of it.
It's a good vice.
So what did you listen to today on your own? What music got you
what did I listen
going
to
today?
Who was on deck today at the shop? Who did I play? I'm trying to think. What did I? Oh, you know what? I was listening to. Anderson .Paak. That's who I was listening
Oh, wow.
to. That kid's fucking badass, man.
Bad motherfucker.
Yeah, his like whole. I dig it, man. You know, call me a fan. Like I'm like a big fan of this kid. This dude throws down. Like he was playing the drums, he was singing, he was like doing this soul thing, and I'm like, fuck yeah, this is what it's about. Like pure talent, you know. And I think he said that he was in the, you know, like I don't know. I think he said that he was in the band, and you know, it's one of those, you know, band nerd type things that he was able to, you know, overcome. But I heard he was like one of the coolest kids in the school too. So I don't know how that worked out.
No. Have you guys seen him?
No,
Just
No.
fucking plays, he sings, plays drums all at the same time, and he gets down. Crazy as rolls.
Yeah.
At the same time, keeping tune, everything, his voice, perfect, man.
So did,
Gotta peep him out.
Don, what's his name? The Eagles guy, drummer, fucking high.
Don Henley.
John Henley.
Don Henley. I was
Yeah.
gonna say Don Felder.
Yeah.
Oh, Dick, that's the guitar.
I know
player.
it's a guitar player. I'm just saying I had a THC moment. Sorry, guys.
Stoner moment.
This podcast is brought to you by
THC.
THC. California THC. Yeah.
the other Chris.
But yeah, that's
What the fuck? The other Chris?
Because I was thinking of THC.
What the fuck?
Never mind.
THC, the other
What? The other Chris?
The other Chris. I'm fucking dumb, dude.
Yeah, you're high, dude. You're high. It's all good.
English as a second language. Is what happens right here.
Hey,
You know?
you got it. You had any?
For the record, Chris has sciatica, so he has to smoke
Medicinally.
to feel good. Otherwise, he'd be leaning like a cholo.
Yes.
No, leaning like a Wookiee.
Yo, Manny.
Yes, sir.
What had it? Any famous people walked in? You remember?
Actually, there's been a couple of famous people.
Yeah, the
that
bad guy from Popeyes right there, dude.
Actually knew who just walked. Hey, I didn't even think about it, man. I didn't even think about it. Or it kind of reminded me Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Bald Bull. Where you would do that thing where you're like he just knock you the fuck out,
I just want to see.
Somebody made me into a meme already on that one, dude.
Oh really? I can picture Bald Bull. Yeah, Bald Bull would be bad.
Or you could just picture him in a black and white tank top holding some dumbbells, like those 20 pictures.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you only have to picture me, dude.
Hey, riding a fucking unicycle,
Man.
or that bicycle with the big tire in the front, and
That
the little tiny
singlet.
one in the back.
That makes more sense than me holding any kind of weights, dude.
that man bikini they would wear, that mankini they would wear in the 20s.
Yeah, the one that's strapped to one side.
Yeah,
that's the one.
The Andre the Giant fucking bikini.
I can picture
The one piece dick. One arm.
Do you have kids?
None.
No? Oh, that'd be the most amazing Halloween costume where you would have kids, but there's no excuse for a grown man.
Could probably go
Something to it. That's what I'm saying.
I could probably borrow one, dude.
Yeah, that'd be really good. That'd be really cool.
Yeah,
man.
that is.
Hey,
there's no excuse for him to look like a weightlifter in Venice Beach in the 1920s.
Hey, you know what though?
Yeah.
Hey, I take it back. We do have a kid here.
Joel,
The kid.
I am Joel. Okay.
You could dress him up like Wimpy, dig.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So go back to the question.
Yeah, what was the...
Okay. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Going back to
And we are here at Mxxnshine Records in Uptown Whittier.
Mxxnshine
We
Records.
get all the baddest
Little-
wax
little-
that you may need.
They got more 12-inch here than a porno.
Fucking puns, dig. What the fuck?
Sorry. Okay, so
We're back in Pun City.
hold on. Let's.
No, you don't get a clap.
I'm fucking editing that shit out. Okay.
The only clap you get on your pants, dig.
Okay, so getting back to all the music that's being re-released on vinyl,
Yes.
I noticed if you go to the vinylsource.com or any Vinyl Nation or any of those websites, they're re-releasing them on 180 gram vinyl.
Yeah, actually,
What is that and what does it do?
it's a heavier weight to me. I'm not a genius, man, but to me, it's just it's a more heavier weight vinyl. Doesn't play to me. The regular 180 doesn't play better than the regular.
That was my
LP,
second question.
The OG. It just doesn't. To me, it sounds the same. It's actually, to me, I have a couple of Portishead albums that are on 180, and I'm like, it sounds the fucking same to me. It's a lot of it's marketing, man. And to me, that's what's really getting me down in regards to new vinyl sales. Is that probably a piece of wax maybe costs maybe a buck or two to really press and get it all together. And when you're buying it in this huge amount, or how these labels
I think it costs
own this music
41 cents to produce an album.
probably, and they're selling it at 25, 35,
Yeah.
And I think that's burning a lot of people who are getting into it because they come in here and they're like, dude, I saw a record for $25 today. Why, when I can buy 3 or 4 over here?
For the same price.
So you can get that Beatles for 25, brand new, with no soul in it, or you can buy the original that has from 1965 the original pops, the original handprints, the original everything in it. And I think people kind of gravitate to that.
Amen to that.
There's a big one right there.
Yeah.
He's got the
Wow.
What are you holding up there, brother? Hold tell them right now.
Shit.
That's the Leroy Holmes for a few dollars more. Clint Eastwood.
It doesn't get any better than this.
Wow.
A lot of producers really like stuff like that. That's the spaghetti western sound that people love to sample. There's some crazy bells in it. Yeah.
What I'm holding in my hands is Leroy Holmes and his orchestra. It is the soundtrack for the Clint Eastwood movie for a few dollars more.
Damn.
You know, that brings me to a good
Unbelievable.
question, though. How do you handle vinyl? Do you slap it next to your friend's shoulder?
You know, there's some people who I see people. Some people are very particular with their vinyl. I see guys who will look at some lint on some wax and they think it's scratched. I'm like, no, man, it's just blowing it. Just get it out of the way. You know. And there's guys, you know, they look at my records like, oh, this is all scratched. This is no way this would play. I'm like, well, let's play it. Let's play it right now. You know, I'll challenge you to that. You know, I know what I put out there, and I'll play it for them, and then you know they get convinced that you know it may look bad, but it plays perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. I just scratched the shit out of a record yesterday.
Really?
Not scratched it, but I accidentally like tapped it and and I'm like, oh crap! So I looked it up, I lifted it, and it just had a little tiny scuff.
Really?
I didn't fuck it up.
Did you lift it?
I lifted it.
I did it on purpose, by the way. I lifted it.
Do you guys say texted or just text?
I text.
That's why I say text too.
Yeah.
I say texted. I say texted it.
How do you say mine? Mine? Mines?
It's mine.
It's mine.
No, it's mine.
Mines?
It's mine.
It's strictly HP.
Yeah.
These
These are the West Coast.
What I'm holding in my hands right now is the soundtrack to Albert R. Broccoli presents Roger Moore as Ian Fleming's James Bond 007 For Your Eyes Only. The reason I'm looking at this album is because the music is composed by Bill Conti.
Oh, wow.
Bill Conti is a fucking renowned fucking composer.
I know.
He has composed like everything and anything.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites. And I'll tell you, my favorite soundtrack that Bill Conti was able to for the movie that he was able to compose for was the Rocky 2
shit
soundtrack.
Exactly.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
That shit is fucking bad. I work out to that shit.
You know who played bass on this album?
Fucking awesome.
You must be listening to a lot of Bill Conti.
Dude, I
'Cause
do.
My dude's big.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
dude's swollen like he needs to.
Carol Kane played bass on that album. Carol Kane.
shit.
The only thing I noticed was a gap on that shit, dude.
That's what I noticed that too.
That's the only thing I noticed on that record, dude. Was
Yeah, he didn't even notice it. He was too busy about the workout.
I just thought,
it's
like,
a fucking chick spreading her legs. Yes.
I was about that. That bikini.
You know what? That song, the song For Your Eyes Only by Sheena Easton. That's a great song. Too.
You know what though? I can tell you something that I'm gonna confess something I've never seen. A 007 movie.
Me neither. Right here.
Really?
Give it to me right here. Yeah.
You've never seen one? Are you fucking
Really?
kidding me?
You
No.
do?
Never seen
Really?
it.
I've never seen
Okay, I
it.
thought
I
it was like
seen
the
a
only
piece
one.
of some. I didn't see the whole
Hey,
thing, but I seen
really?
pieces.
Oh my
Okay.
god, dude, they're the fucking like some of the best movies ever fucking made.
Hey, dude.
Well, I tried to watch Octopussy when I was a
Maybe-
kid. but
maybe not the older ones, but the new ones are fucking awesome. I'll tell you this: the best fucking James Bond, the best James Bond
by far.
is Sean Connery. Sean Connery, but Pierce Brosnan, fucking
Octopus.
awesome, fucking awesome, dude, fucking awesome.
Like, I would say that about Joel. Like, Joel is one of the best podcasters by far.
Hey, I just wonder about that album. How hairy is that shit out front, dude?
That's 80s hair right there.
And we'll let Joel know he's in Mxxnshine Records in the soundtracks selection right
And
now.
I
He's the
love
soundtracks are
me
right behind
personally.
him.
And where are you located?
In Uptown Whittier. We're right off of Whittier
Dude,
Boulevard.
Serious?
Uh,
A big town.
hey,
That's
Matt Dillon
fucking
looks really good on
awesome.
it though.
It's got fever.
Yeah, it's Jack the Knife
Yeah.
by Bobby Darin.
No, it's Mac Tonight, not Jack
Hey,
Tonight.
you know-
It's Mac the Knife.
Jack Tonight. It's Jack Tonight. He's
You know what? You know why? Because I'm fucking Jack tonight.
Yeah, he's Jack Tonight. Dude, that marijuana really got him all
Daniels
messed
out
up.
there.
Hey, don't mix him up, dude. He has to come. You know, he's gonna stay here all night.
No, not at
fixing
all.
it.
Not at all. I know exactly where everything's at. Even when he
Yeah,
Well, he's fucking up. No, I'm kidding.
Soundtrack to Summer
Wow.
Summer Schools are cool. That's one of my favorite classic movies as a
It
kid.
is.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my god,
Mr. Shoop.
dude.
Mr.
I want to
Shoop.
stop this podcast just to purchase this shit.
Mr. Shoop.
Wow.
I wanted that motherfucking teacher.
You see,
Yeah.
You know.
Joel is so he has the attention span of a goldfish.
Oh, dude.
Casablanca.
Damn.
Casablanca.
You pick
Now
up
he's all in love. Now he's all in love.
everything
That's
on there
right.
has Harry Bush written all over it.
So back to my question. Hopefully we could answer it now.
Yes, sir.
Hold on.
Any famous?
Oh yeah. Duh.
Any famous?
Yeah, actually,
people?
the very
I forgot all about that question.
I know, me too. The very first or the very day to the 1 year anniversary, the lead singer to the Dead Kennedys walked in.
Jello
Jello
Biafra.
Biafra.
Oh, wow.
Looking for rockabilly records. He had heard that I had rockabilly records, and he came in and he had bought a handful of rockabilly records.
Oh.
We do carry rockabilly, rhythm and blues, R&B, early
Where do
jump
you
blues.
carry these records you speak of?
In my front pocket, you know.
at Mxxnshine Records. In
These
downtown
records
Whittier.
are only in the front pocket of my shorts. And no, actually, they're right above the hip hop section here. Actually,
No, you see, you just fucked that up because I was setting you up to ask you where you carry these records. You were supposed to say Mxxnshine Records, so we're gonna edit that shit out.
vagina.
but Chris does not get a clap.
You know what? I'm just. Why don't I get a cloud, dude? Everybody should.
But
be
yeah,
able to-
here at Mxxnshine Records, yeah, that's exactly where you can get your rockabilly. Your I'm a rockabilly head, so I love rockabilly music.
He
and
has
rhythm and
fucking
blues.
picture vinyl of Wham.
I do on the
in the
wall.
back. Are those for sale or are they for decorations?
Oh,
Only?
for now they're on decoration. You know, a little something to put on the wall. Yeah. Yeah.
This definitely reminds me of the record store in Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, I hope I don't remind you of Ducky though.
Ducky was a pussy.
Yeah, I know, man. Well, you know, but yeah, I don't know. I love my shop, man. I love being here. I'm really happy that you guys are here and enjoying yourselves. We're all having some brew here, so you can. I'm sure from the beginning of the podcast, you can hear our energy right down to the.
Oh no, dude, we got more coming.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask you another
Ask me,
question,
yeah.
man, because one thing that I do is that I do dig everywhere, all over the place, and I know you did too. Do you have any mentors, man, that actually inspired, that taught you the ropes to actually starting your thing?
No, in regards to digging itself, nobody. It was something that as a DJ, I went and did by myself. I learned not to take any friends with me because they were always buying the shit that I wanted. So that was a lesson I learned real quick is when you go on a dig, you go solo. So you buy all the stuff that you want. That was my technique.
Yeah.
And I've gone everywhere. A lot of my friends hated hanging out with me because that's all I wanted to do was dig. Or I'm like, hey man, let's go here, let's go hang out, and then we'd slowly go to a record shop, and they'd fucking be pissed, But yeah, you're with me, and sorry, homie.
I'm a fucking music hoarder. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, and I've been at it for a long time. I've been at some really great record stores that I love to this day. That those have mentored me. The way that those shops, so I can say that, and there's a handful of shops in regards to that I take back with me. There's PM Sounds and Torrance.
Oh wow, I've been.
That's
man.
my,
Nice.
that to me is the cleanest record store I've ever walked into.
It is.
Irvin is just one of the nicest guys that I've ever met, and actually, when he even came in here, he came to my shop.
Oh, that's right.
And to me, that's almost a celebrity. I was almost in tears when I was shaking. I was like, I can't believe you're in my shop. Because I was a guy who would just come to you just looking for records.
Yeah.
And you're a guy who came out of your way from Torrance all the way up. He goes, I don't drive. I don't, and his nephew brought him.
Nice.
And I thought that was the nicest thing. And he's always, he has been the nicest guy.
He is a very nice guy.
And so to him, there's been a handful of other record shops that I've been to. I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like that. Or, so, and, a little bit of everything. So I'm a little bit of everybody's shop.
You ever been to Roy Record Recycler?
Yeah, Record Recycler. I used to spend hours there. That would be my Torrance dig. I would call it my Torrance dig, and I would go from PM Sounds to Roy on Crenshaw to Aviation Records right off of Aviation. Or I think it was maybe Aviation Records, and then a Gold Boy would be off of PCH.
Oh shit!
So I would hit up though. That would be my Torrance run, and then like if I was going to you gonna name me. I want to name drop all these motherfucking record shops.
Shout them out. Shout them out.
But Moonshine is where you should be. But then I would do my Orange County runs, and these are the things in the '90s. Some of these record shops are not even there anymore. Yeah. I'd go to Costa Mesa, and then I'd go to Dave Noise, and he's another guy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Dave Noise, and over there at Factory Records, he's another guy who's been always cool with me, always straight up cool with me. When I was just a regular guy to when he found out that I had my own shop, he was cool.
And that's
cool. And there's times where I go to him and I buy some of his records and I bring them over here. And that's the thing with record shops. That's the beauty about record shops, is that there's shops in Orange County that don't carry what I carry over here, and there's stuff that I don't carry with Orange County. We all have kind of a demographic of who we sell to, So my demographic is a lot of música latina, a lot of house music, a little bit of rock and roll, tons of 80s new wave, but again, like the hip hop is not so much. And everything else, yeah, really, and everything else but the hip hop, But we carry gospel, kids music, trying to think what else, world music, cassette tapes, los types.
Los casetes.
Okay, let me ask you a question. When people come in here and buy your record or sell you their records, do you ever like see the pile and you just like put one aside, like this is going to my private reserve, my private stock?
I at first everything is for the store. I really look at it like, okay, I could sell this, I could sell this, I could sell this, I could sell this. After I play it and I really think about it, I'm like, is it something I would use? Is it something that I would really spin? There's a handful of records that I've kept. Even me, like I feel like I'm really taking away from the store when I take music or when I take records away. And I never post them. Because I'm not gonna post something and then be like, well, it's not for sale.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to do that to my customers and be like, oh well, I saw you post it. Yeah, well, it's for me.
Like, sorry, sold.
And actually, and that's one thing I did. I remember you posted a record, and I called you, and I said, "Hey, do you still have that record?" And fortunately, I think wait a minute. What happened is I hit you up on Instagram, asked you if you still had that record, and then I came in, and I bought the record because I needed that record. That's the thing about Digger, that whole mentality where you see a record and you need to have it. Because it's something that's been in your mind for the longest time. And when somebody actually posts it, say like, fuck, I need it. Yeah. I remember leaving work early. And I drove here to fucking buy that record.
There's a lot of, I've done that. And there's people who, it's what that song really means to you.
Yes.
We were just talking about The Police earlier. And how what that record, meant to you. You remember, yes, getting it. You were telling me,
I was 9 years old.
How cool is that?
I was 9 years old, and I went with my cousin to the mall, and he bought that record, and I bought a Man at Work, and we came home. We came to his pad, and we played the record on the spot, because that's what you did.
Yeah.
Back then, you would buy the record, and you just come back. You just can't wait to hear it, because it's one thing listening to it on the radio, but when you actually own that shit, and then you bring it home and you play it on your own turntable, it's a different feeling.
It really is.
And I seen that record that you had right there, The Police, and I was like, fuck. I was 9 years old. And I looked at it. I looked at the date, and I was 9 years old.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was like, oh, shit. So that's the type of mentality and the thing about music that hopefully the people out there can realize that you will never forget that experience.
Yeah, and I think
buying that record.
We all don't forget the music that we grew up on. Whether it's something that reminds me of my dad, my mom, my friend, my neighbor, a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend, me crying, me running, me working out, me getting pumped up, me wanting to fight somebody, me wanting to, drive my car fast. There's a song to all of those.
Exactly.
Yeah. Really is a song. Yes. You have a soundtrack. She has her soundtrack. We all have the soundtrack to our life, I haven't, we all have our soundtrack, that really, really means something to us. And I think a lot of people come in here and that's what they try to kind of take away from that, or at least try to take that with them from my store, something they can build on. If not, they want their kids to, I see a lot of parents my age coming to them and showing them, their kids the 80s. Oh, we were into this. This is what I used to play. And the kids either not feeling it or really feeling it. You're like, yeah, Mom, I want to buy this,
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool.
It's like, do you have Little Wheezy on vinyl?
Yeah. Oh, man.
What's the fucker's name? Uzi? Little Uzi.
A lot of littles out there, man. And speaking about that, that's funny that because about couple weeks ago, or maybe more, but my niece came on my pad and she seen the Grease soundtrack.
Oh shit.
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh my god, I love this!" And she asked me to play this freaking song on there, man. And I straight grabbed it, put it on the record player, and played it.
Oh yeah.
After she was excited. I'm like, she's gonna remember this shit for the rest of her life.
We all grew up to Grease, We all grew up to Grease. We all grew up to these things that we had to listen to or watch in school.
Well, I know we grew up to Grease because Grease was filmed in HP.
And you know what's crazy? That
Was it really?
Yeah,
it was.
Huntington Park High.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the basement of the kitchen, there's actually all the props under still. Or they were, at least.
Really? But yeah, man, they I
and
don't
then
know.
the funny thing is, like, it's like I always remember that. Like, she didn't remember that. So what I did, I just gave her the soundtrack.
That's cool.
I just gave it to her. I was like, here you go, take it. She's
Yeah.
gonna, she went back home and played it, the whole soundtrack.
Yep.
What 8-9-year-old does that?
Yeah, no
so
shit.
she played the whole thing, man. So I felt really good about that.
Dude, the
'Cause I
best
know one day-
soundtrack is still to this day Saturday Night Fever, dude.
Oh.
Saturday Night Fever.
That's a fucking badass.
That's another
fucking
big one.
soundtrack.
Were we just watching that movie? The
Okay,
other day?
I have to
Look at
say
the waist. Look at the waist of
Hold on.
Schneeberger.
I get it's for later, Dick. It's for later, baby. Don't even trip.
Baby.
No,
Baby, I got you, man.
Purple Rain is a great soundtrack.
It is,
Purple
but
Rain.
not as good as fucking Saturday Night Fever, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Saturday Night Fever.
Purple Rain kills. I think that soundtrack is
Swear on
awesome.
your mustache right now, dude.
I swear on my mustache.
I have both of those soundtracks.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I have both of them.
What happened to all my
Which
beer?
one's the?
Purple Rain and
It's
Saturday
probably
Night
your
Fever.
mustache,
Yeah.
dude.
And I listen to Saturday Night Fever soundtrack a lot more than I do the Purple Rain soundtrack. Even though, to me, I mean, come on, Prince was a fucking phenomenal guitar player,
Oh yeah.
right?
And your height.
Yeah, he's about my height.
Yeah.
Right?
Nah, he was taller. He was 4'5".
Yeah, dick. But him being an awesome, ridiculously fucking talented guitar player has nothing to do with, the type of composition and songwriting that the Bee Gees
But
have. Come on, dude. No, the Bee Gees did not only write music for themselves. They wrote music. They wrote music for everybody
Okay,
else,
but-
just like Prince.
but let me
Just
tell you,
like Prince. But the Bee Gees, they were good.
this is
at
where the
fucking-
O'Reilly factor moment starts.
Yeah, you're about to box it out right now.
Dude,
You're ready.
fucking
You're
Bee
ready.
Gees were,
No, they're the shit,
great
man.
fucking producers, dude.
Okay, how many number one hits did the Bee Gees have?
A shit ton.
How many number one hits did Prince
A
have?
shit ton.
Ooh, double shit ton.
Yeah, double shit ton. But was
That's the same shit
the
ton.
great thing about Purple Rain?
Uh huh. I'm listening. I'm listening.
This is Joel, the music hater kid.
Oh God.
No.
The Chris hater.
Just I say, you know what? You say fuck the Cure once, and then you're fucking Band-Aid hater the rest of your life.
wow,
What's
The
wrong with that? No. Prince played all the fucking instruments on Purple Rain.
Okay.
Okay, and the Bee Gees did, one guy did the, and the other guys played the guitar and drums, dude.
Okay. What does that have to do with composition?
Dude, the Purple Rain is not only better produced than the
Who's
the
on
Bee Gees.
first?
How's it better? Okay.
Who's on
how's
third?
it better produced?
This is the beauty of music, is that we'll
It's
have customers in here that come in here
exciting.
and really.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is it better produced?
Have you ever heard this at
Oh yeah,
right here?
many times. This
Really?
happens daily. Yeah,
Okay,
it happens
okay.
daily. Oh yeah.
It's
No,
better.
you said
This is a daily conversation at
Purple
Mxxnshine
Rain
Records.
is
Did you ever get
better
inside? Did you ever get
produced
involved?
than the Bee Gees.
I'm not
Ask
even-
me.
okay,
I'm
no,
just
no,
watching.
no.
Just like I'm doing now.
Calm down.
There we
Calm
go.
down.
He's
I'm
flexing.
just
Look at he's
asking.
flexing.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
flexing. He's flexing.
That's that
Look at he was getting all tensed up. I saw
that
that.
tattoo on his arm. You see the skull, like just like snarl.
I thought it was winking. At me.
Is that snarling and winking?
I thought it was trying to ask me out right now.
Like Popeye's face would be.
I'm waiting.
Okay.
How?
It's better produced. It's
How?
better.
How?
The sonics are better. There's more
How so?
clarity. There's a
How
better
so?
vocal music.
How so?
How so? I don't know. How do you make a
hold
peanut
on,
butter
time
jelly
out,
sandwich?
Time out, hold on, time out.
Oh, with peanut butter.
Time out.
How?
See, this
How?
is
Do you
bullshit.
spread it? Do you
Bullshit.
spread the peanut butter on the bread?
Hold on.
Is that what you do?
So
Is
you
that
got-
how you do it? What kind of
Use
bread
it.
do you use?
Did you hear what he said?
Did
you like Staying Alive?
Vocally. Okay, you're gonna tell me that Saturday Night Fever is not a good vocal album.
It's a great vocal album.
How is it not better?
Okay.
I'm not saying that
Let-
it's
okay.
better than Purple Rain.
Let me
but
rephrase.
Why do you think Purple Rain is better vocally than
I didn't say it
Saturday
was.
Night Fever?
Records,
That's
people.
exactly what you said.
I said it
What
was
happened
better
when Mxxnshine
produced.
Records
No,
came.
you
I
said
said
you said vocally. How?
You are
The
witnessing-
production is better.
How?
The
You are
vocals are
witnessing
better.
Okay.
Something
Why?
very
How?
interesting
Why?
today.
How?
Don't talk out of your ass. Give me
Who the
fucking
fuck is it?
facts.
This
Let
is
me
what
give-
happens
give
when
me
you
fucking
smoke
facts.
weed and you drink alcohol.
Okay.
This is weed against alcohol.
Yeah,
If everybody
this
would.
fucking
There
guy's
it is.
talking
Kinda
out of his
alcohol-
asshole
alcohol's
right
kinda
now.
winning at
Give
this
me
moment.
facts.
I'm not
Weed
only
is getting
talking my
crazy.
There
shit.
you
Give
go.
me
Okay.
factual data.
I'm
not bullshit.
I'm not talking out
So
of my
let's talk
asshole.
about porn music.
I'm just talking to an asshole.
So porn music is a very exciting type of music that was
No,
probably
what you're
created
doing,
by
what
No,
you're
no, no,
doing
no.
is
I'm just saying-
deflecting.
There's more.
musicians in
there-
jazz.
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Let me make my fucking point.
Make
Okay.
it. Make it because you're pointless right now.
No. The Saturday Night Live. The Saturday. Well, how do you say the album? What the
All right,
hell?
What is
ju-
it?
hey,
Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday
you
Night. Saturday night.
just lost because you can't even say it, Nick.
Okay.
Clean
No,
the
no, no, no.
Schneeberg off your
Stop.
legs.
Bad.
Okay.
That shit looks like the fucking chalkboard, the bottom of a chalkboard in school. Nick.
I'm gonna slap my thighs together and it'll be like a bunch of dust.
Looks like you've been pounding erasers after school. You've been busted up.
I will not write about
Okay.
the podcast.
I will not
Hey,
say
how about-
dumb shit about music.
There is.
Hey, this argument will be continued at a later podcast, Nick.
No. But let me just get this in there.
With the schnee on the
There's
side of
more.
his chin.
There's more actual hits on the Purple Rain soundtrack than there is the Saturday Night Fever
Ooh,
soundtrack.
that's something we actually should look
Okay,
up.
and
See
where-
what really.
and where did you
let's
get
Google
that
it. Let's
data
Google
from?
it. Let's Google
Where
it.
did
I
you
gotta
get-
Google.
Where,
I gotta
where did you
Google.
get that from?
Okay, hold on. He's
Where did you
Googling.
get that
He's-
from?
But
he's
still,
Googling.
yeah, well,
There's
that's a
fucking
trip.
Billboard. Look at Billboard. Fucking Google it yourself.
Did you look at Billboard?
Yeah.
When?
I don't know. Long
You're
time.
fucking lying, is what you're doing.
No, I'm not lying. I don't lie on the
Bullshit. You're
podcast.
smiling right now.
I'm not.
He's fucking
I'm
smiling.
smiling because I'm stoned.
Look it
This
up,
is
Rick.
Stupid.
And you know what, Rick? Look it up. And if I'm talking out of my ass and I don't know my shit, gladly tell me and I will accept it. But this
Oh.
fucking talking shit.
I'm not talking.
Fucking
What
put
am
it
I
out
looking up?
Put him on blast.
Let
Let me tell you something, man.
Hey, hold on. What
Okay,
am I
hold
looking
on.
up?
This
The
fucking-
Bee Gees is
Weed.
phenomenal. It's not
Yeah.
only.
You know what? Let's see.
guy-
No, let's
hey,
see what. Let's see what
this
sold
fucking
more.
guy's making claims, so
Who
look
sold
it up.
more? Prince's
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain or the Bee
Saturday
Gees Saturday Night?
But okay,
Saturday Night Fever?
what I'm trying to get here before.
Why the fuck did I say Grease?
Okay.
Well, we
We
started
started talking
with
about
Grease.
Grease.
God damn.
I'm just saying, it's
I've
my
done this
opinion.
before.
I prefer the Purple Rain soundtrack over the Bee Gees soundtrack. I think it's a better album. It has a better quality of songs, but you gotta understand there is a decade difference in the release of those albums.
Okay, hold on.
So when you're
Oh, there
looking
we
for
go. We're
production,
getting-
Oh, ding ding ding.
We're getting answers.
okay, so
okay, the Bee Gees have sold over 120 million albums worldwide.
120 million
Yeah,
albums.
Purple Rain.
That means there's records out
This
there.
is
120
albums
million.
total.
You turned me down.
So Prince has only sold 100,000. I'm sorry,
Whoa.
100 million. 100 million.
Whoa.
What the fuck?
Damn.
hey, but you know,
Wow.
okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right now. Fuck the Cure. And you know what? Fuck Saturday Night Fever. And
I'm telling you, dude.
you know what? Fuck fried green tomatoes.
You know.
They're not as tasty as we thought they would be.
Who won this argument, Rick?
That's-
Who the fuck
Point.
cares?
Joe.
There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
Who cares? I still
care.
say. I
Hey,
still say.
imagine
I care.
you're gonna have this. You're gonna have this here one
We
day.
have
How
this-
about, how about you put that question up there and see how many
You
people
know
argue
what?
about
We-
it?
you know what I should do is post a question a day and just kind of like, really let these motherfuckers go at it because
On the window right here.
window or Instagram, whatever. We'll put. Yeah, we're gonna do some music trivia and and get
This fool
get the
is-
community involved.
Hey, what's that
How
one?
the fuck do you
Get
like
people
the
done.
Bee Gees? When did you start liking the Bee Gees? I just don't fucking get that.
Oh, he's a BG. You can tell he's a BG guy. You can
Dude.
tell.
What's wrong with the Bee
Where
Gees,
the fuck
Dick?
did you get your bell-bottom pants
Dude.
fucking brave enough to fucking
Wait.
come out to me, motherfucker?
Prince,
Okay?
Prince,
Dickhead,
Prince
I'm-
wears bell
Dick.
bottoms too, Dick.
Dickhead, yeah. Dickhead, I'm a fan of fucking good production. Okay, and the Saturday Night
You know what
Fever
we need in
soundtrack
here?
was fucking
We need
excellent
a Jerry
production.
Springer fucking.
I know.
Come on. Hey, dude.
Jerry.
Hey,
Jerry.
dude, let me tell you, dude. Come on, dude.
But honestly, here at the shop, it really is the top selling, at least soundtrack. That
You know
I
what?
have.
It's because it's.
You know what? I like that he
It
said
is.
that. You know what?
Yeah.
Right now we're talking about debating that. He just said it right now.
It really is my top. If I'm gonna have one or the other, it's my top selling one. Even though Prince is Prince,
Hey, I
the
agree.
kids like the young kids really get it. When you're kind of a little bit older and you're like coming of age, that's when you kind of start discovering Prince and the whole sexuality thing of at least of what a lot of us think Prince represented. At least that's what we think, and
Oh,
and
the pussy magnet.
right.
And you know
So
what?
think so.
Don't get me wrong, dude. I have the Purple Rain soundtrack. I fucking love it.
I got the one with the poster in it,
Yeah, dude, it's fucking amazing.
which
But
is rare.
I mean, give credit
yeah,
where
it
credit
really
is
is.
due.
I give credit to the Bee Gees.
purple
Dude,
one.
the
I just-
Bee Gees are fucking bad.
I just think that the
composers.
I just think the Purple Rain soundtrack sounds better.
what about hip hop? Let me ask you both then, since you guys it seems like young and old. So let me
young.
ask you, yeah. So who do you like? So who's like somebody like you? I really like if their vinyl was available here.
We
at
had
Mxxnshine
this
Records.
argument the last podcast.
Oh, did you? Okay, so I'm not gonna ask that question then.
I'll tell you.
Fuck that question then.
I'll tell you. I'll tell
Fuck
you.
last podcast
Hey,
we're
Dick,
doing
am
today.
I on or something? 'Cause
I'm
I can
kidding.
barely hear myself. Or
You
did you turn
know.
me down?
You did get turned down. You're
Okay.
fucking peeking like a
Oh
motherfucker.
Alright.
man, look, peeking like his arms all full of water, full of water.
I'll tell you this, dude. Like the last podcast or the last couple of podcasts that we had, the first fucking hip hop album that I ever fucking heard.
Here we go again.
Okay. And I found
The fucking Bee Gees really did?
and
Just let him
dude,
answer, David.
Yeah.
The first fucking
I'm just
hip hop
kidding.
album that I fell in love with, the first one I've ever heard,
Yeah.
was "Bad" by LL Cool J.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
that's a great one,
dude,
gingerly.
fucking doom 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 doom. That shit was when that fucking album dropped, I jacked that fucking tape from my brother,
Really?
and I'm like, this shit is fucking hot. After that, Salt and Pepper. My mic sound nice. Check one. My mic sound nice. Check two. Right.
Wow.
Dana Dang with Fame. MC Shy D.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Fucking yes, y'all. To the beat, y'all.
Yeah.
And you don't
Can you
stop.
picture him
That
dressed like
body
Run
rock.
DMC
Okay.
with the glasses and the rope
Dude.
chain?
Nah,
that
yeah,
was-
maybe.
Hey,
More, you know, makes it more of like a New Kids on the Block thing.
dude, that was my shit. And then,
That's
of
cool.
course, fucking NWA dropped
Yeah.
with fucking their first album, which was like fuck, and it blew my fucking mind away.
Blew a lot
You
of
know,
people
and then
away.
ever since then, it was just fucking nothing but gangster rap for me, dude. I never got into any of the other bullshit. That's what I fucking grew up on. That's what I started with, and then obviously, when Eazy-E and Ice Cube and all them started to branch out and start doing their solo shit, I was a fan of all of their shit because
You
no
are
matter-
listening to Narrow Minded with Joel Marquez.
Or let me ask this one, since it's the music thing. What's a song that makes you want to cry? That's one thing that I want to hear the guys really talk about. It's a song that's really emotional that gets you every fucking time. Whether it's "You Can't Touch This" by MC Hammer, or it's fucking.
I'll tell you off the
like
bat,
something like just
off the top of my head, Prince one does make you cry.
Really,
When Doves
really,
Cry?
does it really? Does it like
It's
you're like-
emotional for me, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
See, like to
Baby,
me,
I'm just like my mother, too cold.
Okay. mine has to be Friends by Houdini.
oh really, really, something that just you
It just-
kind
it
of
just
gravitate
gets
to.
you-
It
gets you
really,
good, yeah.
you know. I've always wondered like what's
You know,
what song is that?
For
you know?
for me, there's two of them.
No, one.
No,
you have to choose one, dude.
No. Listen. Like I can't watch Pink Floyd The Wall, the movie. I can't.
Uh-huh.
I end up crying. It's weird.
Really?
Yeah, like even if I don't watch it, if I'm happy in a good mood, fucking pissed or whatever, I always end up crying to that fucking. But right between the middle.
Really? It just makes you cry.
And fucking I can't listen to in any way I can't listen to the entire White Light, White Heat, White Trash by Social D.
Oh,
without
Social
crying.
D. That's a great album.
Seriously.
That's to me. That's Social D at its finest. Even though I'm a big Social D fan, I grew up with Mike Ness and Fullerton and you know what Mike was all about. You know, I'm definitely a product of Social D. You know, and the SoCal, you know, influence that he's had on the fucking greaseball world. You know, every greaser's wanted to become Mike. You know, I've seen guys, you know, dress themselves in fucking Mike tattoos exactly where he's had them. You know, that's really, really, I'm sure that's flattering as a person, you know, to have that, you know, that love that he has here in even in Uptown Whittier, and in, you know, I've always grew up with Mike Ness, so I got big ass poster of Mike Ness in my wall. That's the first thing. And a lot of people, if that Mike Ness poster could talk, when I lived in Huntington Beach, man, that son of a bitch, man, will tell you some stories. Yeah. But yeah, man, Mike's a big influence on me, and that Social D scene, and you know, you have to have seen a Mike Ness fucking concert if you're in LA.
Yeah, Social Distortion inadvertently got me into country music.
Yeah.
And rockabilly, even though they didn't sound like that, it gave me that. Okay, I like Social D. I like the rockabilly shit they're doing and all that other stuff, and it just gravitated me to Johnny Cash, Hank Williams. A senior, you know. There's
a big, you know, LA rockabilly scene here in Los Angeles that's been going on for a long time, for about a good, since I'm going to say like 95, 93, with Tom Ingram, who's a local DJ from England, bringing a lot of that stuff back. And I was a part of that scene, and, you know, something that I really loved, and that's why I carry rockabilly music in my shop, you know, because it's big here in Los Angeles. You know, just like hip hop, metal. Metal is a big thing. I'm barely getting into metal now. Yeah, I've never had an ear for metal. The heavy metal's pretty dope.
I think the song that's made me cry, and still to this day, and it happened to me when I saw them live for the very first time in my life, was Tequila Sunrise by the Eagles.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I saw them fucking live at the Forum, and this is before Glenn Frey, may you rest in peace, before he passed away. The Eagles were playing a residency at the Forum in Inglewood, and I got to go see them, and it was the experience of a lifetime. It was so fucking awesome. To see the Eagles perform live is something else, I'll tell you that.
Badass.
Yeah, they're one of my all-time favorite bands.
I would have loved to see them live.
Yeah, man. You know, there's certain people that, you know, that throw a way better live show than they do. You know, and that's, you fall in love with their live show, and you're like, well, how's this band? You know, I've never seen them. I'm not familiar with this band, and you catch them at a festival, and you're like, shit, I'm a fan. You know.
We were just talking about that when we were eating tacos earlier, about how the band that we were talking about, Sick of It All, shout out to Sick of It All, how they're just way better live. How their live energy and their live sound doesn't translate well on tape.
Yeah.
Same thing with, like, a lot of bands are like that, like Cadillac Tramps have that problem. They didn't translate well on tape.
Really? Yeah.
They didn't get that energy. Van Halen's like a way better band live.
We were talking about the boys from Southgate, Viernes 13.
Viernes 13, yeah.
You know, that's another great band that, you know, a lot of people don't, you know, are either sleeping on or just don't really pay attention to that, you know, that type of Latin ska, that's coming around here in Los Angeles. And
I can't say that I've heard any of their music yet. I've heard a lot about them. The guitar player in my band, he's an avid fan, a listener of their music. But I hear a lot of great things about that band.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that, you know, and I encourage those bands when they come in here, or any of the bands that come in here that are kind of starting their thing, is to press vinyl. Press vinyl. Press 500. You know, make the sacrifice to press your 500. You know, you'll start your legacy. You'll start, you know, the buzz around your music. And, you know, you sell it at your show, and that's the first thing that's going to go. Because I know if I'm at a regular show, I'm buying that vinyl.
And that's, you know what? I agree with you. I think that's the real way to get a dedicated fan. Because I'll tell you, at the last Manic Hispanic show, that we were at Alex's bar on Cinco de Mayo, they were selling shit, and I bought a record of their, one of their albums because, I want that shit on vinyl. I think it's just more of a, more of a connection that way. More of a, true following that way.
I'm trying to think. Is that Gabby's band?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, and I think we just lost
Steve Soto.
Steve
And I was
Soto.
just about to say,
peace.
I was just about to say something. That was probably Mxxshine's last live show.
Yeah, I remember it.
At Alex's bar, May 5th. No, May 6th we went.
Yeah, May 6th.
May 6th,
5th
yeah.
They
was,
did they did the whole Menudo Incident album in its entirety.
Really? I remember, seeing friends that were, were lined up for the show and noticing how Gabby looked really thin, and
Yeah.
that's
He had a myriad of diseases. He had cancer, diabetes, hepatitis C.
Oh, is that? Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh, wow! I had no idea.
Yeah, he was really bad.
Oh man, that's the thing. We get caught up in our own lives that we, you don't even think, what's really going on with, these people that we follow, deep down inside. That's a trip.
Yeah, I'm just happy that we were able to connect with these people on
A personal level.
We had Steve Soto on the podcast before, so
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
Steve Soto on the podcast.
Where?
The one that
Yeah.
just passed.
in March, right?
That's dope.
Last
Really?
month we had him.
Yeah.
It wasn't very long ago.
And I saw that you guys had some really close friends of mine from Long Beach.
The guys at
Hollywood.
Hollywood's Barbershop.
I did. Those are my homeboys. Yeah.
Oh, are those your boys?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Oscar's my barber.
Oscar.
Mario's
Mario.
my fucking
Little
barber.
Mario?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a really fun time with those guys. Those
Yeah.
guys are all fucking solid motherfuckers.
Leo's a really good homie of mine. Yeah, Leo.
Yeah.
I
Shout out
DJ'd the
to-
first night there.
Shout out to DJ Caveman Leo.
Leo
He
Caveman.
plays at Roxanne's in Long Beach every weekend, so catch him if you can.
And at the Stash Bar, too,
There you
on
go.
random Sundays,
That's
too.
right.
Yeah, he got me the spot. I DJ'd at the Stash Bar for about a good 6.5 years.
Shout out to Hollywood's
Wow.
Barbershop on
Yeah.
4th Street, Long Beach, between Jabinary and Cherry.
What'd you say? Jabinary?
Jaboneria.
Ugh.
No. That's in fucking Bell Gardens.
I was like, what?
Junipero.
What the
Junipero.
fuck did he just say?
Junipero. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Ah, you're-
Junipero.
Long Beach people call it Juanapero.
Yeah, I heard Junipero, pero.
I always
Yeah.
fucking get that confused.
I was like, what the fuck did he just say right now? I was almost like,
Junipero.
I'm like, you're not lying to an OG. I know where that fucking shop's at.
I like to give a special shout out to La Clika Podcast for having those guys on here.
Yeah.
So that's
sure.
3 episodes down from from our podcast. You hear
And how crazy to have that, for you guys to come now. You guys are now at my shop, and at Mxxnshine Records. And
shout out to Mxxnshine Records.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
Thank
want to
you.
go out more now, dude. We want to
know?
go out, move out of the room, just start going different places. It makes a big
man.
difference. You're in here,
Totally,
you're feeling the
totally.
ambiance, dude.
Yeah, man.
There's
It's-
a lot of big energy here. Energy here.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Is I just want to, when any of my customers come in here, I want them to be relaxed. Whatever you need, shit, man. Like I said, whatever you need. Literally, I'm here for the community, and I always put that in my post. It's always community first, man. And people go to the library. There's certain things that are needed in the community. That's a music store, hardware store, bookstore, coffee shop, There's a
Instrument
handful of
shop.
things. Yeah, really, where people can just go and be themselves.
They have like a diverse culture of just shops.
You got a pawn shop down the street too. I've always been a big fan of pawn shops.
I'm a big fan of pawn shops. Go walk around and look at shit. I'm like, I could put that on layaway.
Yep.
I'm telling people I bought it all in one shot.
I bought records at a pawn shop.
Really? Yeah. I don't buy too much in the pawn shop. I don't buy too much in pawn shops.
You just happened to be there.
Yeah.
I just said,
Sometimes.
fuck it. I just bought them, because they were there. They were like $1, I think.
Yeah.
They're random ones, but I got some samples from it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, if you're looking for samples, man, 99-cent records are the best. You just have to have the ear, be patient for it. People, I have a lot of customers that come in here looking for samples, and they ask me outright, what would you use to sample? It all depends. It depends on what sound you're looking for. I'm a big piano guy. I like flutes. So I'm going to always generally show you somebody who like Herbie Man, or I'm gonna show you,
Hubert Laws.
Yeah. I like the way the flute can, you can really kind of,
That's an odd question to ask.
Chris likes the flute too. He likes the skin flute.
The skin flute,
Yeah.
like I said, the rusty trombone.
The rusty trombone. Yeah.
He's really into those.
That's an odd question to ask another person. Like, hey, what do you use to sample?
Yeah.
It's just like, I think it's a very personal question, especially if it's like using an artistic standpoint.
Yeah, and that's what I try to tell them.
I mean, you get beginners. I mean, they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you got people.
that's like asking a musician, like, what guitar riff would you use in this?
It's like asking what instrument do you use as a bass player.
No, it's not. I mean,
Well,
how do you like
it's
playing?
more-
Finger picking.
Well, it's more like when you are composing as a hip hop producer, you want to have this sound.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have this thing in your back of your head, like I want to like this mandolin sound.
Yeah.
So you look for an artist who played the mandolin. Then
Yeah.
you got somebody that wants some hard ass bass.
yeah, but I can understand that question. But like, what sample would you use?
So what I do, honestly, so when they ask me that, I'll show them something that's readily available that somebody sampled already, so they get an idea of how they use that. So I'll pull out like a Charles Aznavour, and I'll play, a Dr. Dre sample, and I'll slow it down with my hand. I'm like, this is what he did to this song. It's how you play with it. You can do it faster, you can do it slower, but it's how you hear that song, and so I'll show them something that's been sampled already. I'm like, you don't want to do that. You want to sample something that you hear, something that you make your own.
Yeah.
Damn, that's freaking awesome, dude.
See,
That's
that's why
awesome.
I think it's like a weird question to ask. Is like, why would you ask if something that idea? It's like, I mean, would you give away your ideas to other people?
No, well, I'm not a sampler. I'm not a producer. So I'll say, hey, I just ran into this dope drum break. Check this out. This is something, and I'll play it for them if they like it. I have the ability to loop records on my mixer, so I can show them, hey, this is how I hear this song. Did you hear that? Because I heard this. And my employee is an employee that works with me, DJ Disarm, works on Friday. Shout out to DJ Disarm Beats. He
and where does he work?
He works here on Friday at Mxxnshine Records.
There you go.
I'm getting it. He works here on Fridays, and he's an amazing up and coming producer that's working with some great heads. But he and I have this really good mental relationship with music.
Mm-hmm.
We're totally different in attitudes, but him and I hear the music the same way. And it's really, really kind of cool to connect with somebody that way. I don't connect with a lot of people that way. But him and I are totally opposite. Total opposite. I'm loud and I'm abrupt. I even told him the other day, I go, dude, you're like a cat. You're like a cat, dog. You just real chill, super chill, not in a hurry, but makes some of the baddest fucking beats. And we're in here nerding out, like, yo, hey, did you hear this? Hey, and we're both, bobbing our heads together.
Yeah.
And we're just dropping the needle. It's what we're just needle dropping, going from record to record to record to record. And you're not really listening to the whole record when you're needle dropping. You're just trying to get a groove. Okay, doom, doom, doom. That's why it's so quick that people are like, do you have an idea of what you're listening to?
Yeah.
And we do.
It's that whole, like, me and Rick were talking about it a while back. It's Portishead.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, like, the way that the producer did stuff. Like, there's certain samples on there that nobody would have ever done it the way that it was done on a Portishead record.
Have you? Did you see the Portishead live in New York?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Damn.
I got to see them here in Los Angeles. A friend of mine I hadn't talked to in years. I hadn't talked to this cat. And he called me and he goes, I have two Portishead tickets.
Wow.
He goes, and I know you're one of the biggest fans. I'm like, dog, I haven't talked to you in a minute. And he goes, just pick me up because I just want to go with you. He goes, because I know you would enjoy it.
That's
so I was like, you for real? He goes, they're playing here in Los Angeles. We went, boom.
I think that I think Portishead is like air. Everybody needs it in their life.
Man.
Wow.
That's just one of those groups.
My Portishead lesson, I have this crazy story that I'm going to tell you. This Portishead lesson. That was 1997, and I was driving on Oranday, and I looked to my right, and there was a UPS driver, and she was smoking bad. A beautiful UPS girl, female driver. And I looked at her, and it actually comes back to here. And I was like, what? Wow, this chick's beautiful. Whatever. I come to Uptown Whittier that night, and I go to the Havana house. She happens to recognize me. She was out of her uniform. Recognized me. Takes me to her little apartment around here, the block. Doing the one-night stand thing. And she's playing Portishead.
Wow.
In the background. That was the first time I had ever heard Portishead. She had it. She knew what she was doing. I didn't know what the fuck I was coming into.
She set the mood, didn't she?
Bro. Oh, man. I'll never forget it. I'll go to my grave with this. And she had
it's just let me bone this fool real quick.
Dude, so get this.
She was steaming up the ceiling mirror.
Man, so get this. Oh, thank you, brother. So, she's playing it, and it's fucking blowing my mind. Wow. Just the soundtrack, I'm like, oh my.
Blowing his mind and blowing his load.
Dude, we're just making out. It's nothing too crazy yet. Nothing.
Knowing what you know now about Portishead, was it the Dummy album or?
It was the first album.
Okay.
So it was the Dummy album, the first album.
That's a nice one.
And
I think the second album dropped in '97.
Not too loud. Just to where I can. Just to I'm like, yo, fuck, that's a nice little groove in the back. So we're making out, and we're about to get busy, and her son comes out wiping his eyes. He's like 7. He's like 8 years old, wiping his eyes.
Mommy.
Yeah, like sleepwalking.
I shit it on myself.
Sleepwalking, and so I was like, I gotta go, and that was the last time That's my UPS Uptown Whittier Portishead story. Yeah,
that's nice. Fuck yeah! Cheers to that.
Cool, man.
Drink to that.
Drink to that. Beautiful, and for that to happen in one night. Pretty cool.
He got the second base on Portishead.
Second base, yeah, because that really turned me off. I was like, well, what's up with Junior, man? I'm out. And then that was it. It was a wrap.
Check this out, dude. I made an acronym for UPS.
What's that?
You Portishead sucker.
Dude, she taught me the lesson.
That's the worst.
I thought it was underpaid slaves.
But I've used that Portishead on other females. Like, yo, I'll come into the house already. The Portishead's already playing. Like, yo,
hell yeah.
It's like literally like putting your cock out and like,
yeah, that's a panic.
I'm not gonna fuck you, Manny. I'm not gonna fuck you with the fucking Portishead's on. I know it's on. I know what you're trying to do here.
Right? Really? Right? Yeah. If Portishead is on and you're around me, shit.
I don't know. If you put it on right now,
no,
we're gonna run, dude.
The guy ratio wouldn't work. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But yeah, that was my Portishead lesson. And that's one that you have to see. Kanye West tried to copy, Portishead and failed.
Yeah,
failed.
Shit, Portishead tried to copy Portishead and they failed. That third album I just hated.
Oh, you know, really?
What?
I can't.
Fuck you, dude.
Dude, I got
Go back.
I got
it.
Portishead third, and I threw it out the fucking window.
Go
dude.
back.
Where's that window? Where you threw it out? I'm gonna go pick it up.
Hey, dude,
on
this
the
motherfucker.
710.
Hold on, I know you're lying, dude, because you don't fucking buy anything.
Okay, hold on.
No. I burned it. I downloaded it.
Oh, there it
Yeah,
is.
but so
he
he
threw it out the window.
He threw his computer out the window, dude.
He threw the downloaded copy. The downloaded the Napster hit.
Imaginary Kazaa out the window, dude.
I only have what I have is Dummy, and I have the self-titled,
And you got Glory Box.
I have Live in Roseland,
That's
Yeah.
and then I have To Kill a Dead Man soundtrack.
Oh yeah, wow, yeah.
But I don't have
You
the
got 'em
third
all.
album.
Shit.
Third's cool.
Is
It's different. It's different.
I don't
it's totally
like it at
different.
all.
I do have Beth Givens and Rustin Man.
Yep.
I have that.
The
too.
you got the Out of Season album or the other one? They
the
did
first
too.
One, the first one.
Yeah, that's a good
It's
one.
fucking badass.
See, this is what I'm talking about. With my record, with music and people coming in here to Mxxnshine Records. This I would have never known that you guys would really knew Portishead like
dude,
that.
we know fucking Portishead.
So
yeah,
things or just different little things that what that music really means to
'cause
you guys.
I mean, when you talk about Portishead, it's like a family tree. It's Tricky, Nearly God,
See, I don't know any of those.
Lazy Dog. Yeah, Ben Watt, Jay Hanneman, all that fucking universe.
I never went down that rabbit hole.
Oh,
so,
I did.
see,
Once I heard Portishead, because I heard Portishead, and it was nothing like I heard before. So I know that those are going to be a genre attached to it. So I dug.
Is that trip hop moment?
That trip hop moment, and they got into Hooverphonic and fucking 07 and all those bands.
I think didn't I show you Thievery Corporation?
And he showed me Thievery Corporation.
This fucker got me into Porter said. He's like, you need to fucking listen to this. I'm like,
I'm the music pimp of the family.
I fucking fell in love with it.
You know, and I've turned a lot of my friends into music. You know, one of my best friends from kindergarten, he always tells me the story. He goes, I'll never forget sitting on your bed and you playing techno for me the first time. He was a big raver after that. Shit. Big raver.
With the coveralls and Mickey Mouse gloves.
All that shit. All that. Yeah, he was hardcore. Still does that stupid shit
Brown
now.
is dead.
But he was big. And then after that, years after that, I introduced him to the Reverend Horton Heat, and he was all about the Reverend. Wow. You know, that's another guy that kind of like, if you don't like all that shit, but you'll respect it when you hear it and you see it.
Heat is fucking
it's for people that like it's off for people that don't like rockabilly. That's what I could. Right, but like a heavy candy guitar.
Yeah, you can really, you know. Yeah, he's got a great live show. I saw him at Alex's bar the last time.
Okay, so I guess we're wrapping it up.
Winding it down.
Yeah, we're winding down.
Winding it down.
Getting winded.
Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down.
Tell us about your equipment you're working with back there.
Oh, just two 1200 Technique, which is the standard turntable. Yeah, the standard turntable for every club that you're gonna ever walk into. They'll have those turntables. It's the one to have, the Cadillac of the turntable,
the staple of hip hop turntable.
Pioneer mixer 600, Pioneer DJM.
Nice.
Just I like the way the sound comes out. It's a nice, good sound to it. The Vestex, I'm not a big fan of it, but I have a Vestex 2-channel back there. Mm-hmm. That's about it.
I'll buy it.
No, you know, sometimes I have open tables here, and I'll have DJs come in and you know, do whatever they want to do, and you know, sometimes they want the 2-channel mixer.
Oh, so you actually set up turntables here for DJs to come in and fuck around. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, on a slow day, I'm like, you know what, open decks. So if you're on my Instagram or Facebook, Mxxnshine Records again, Mxxnshine, Mxxnshine Records, hotmail.com. That's the email. The Instagram, same thing. So, yeah. And I'm always posting.
Yeah, I noticed. Actually, I wanted to come
I noticed the motherfucking shit's always blowing up my shit, eh?
I wanted to come to that 3 a.m. sale that you had.
Bro.
3 a.m. sale?
Yeah, so I do
trip out, check out.
I do a sale at 3 in the morning, twice a year, one mid-month or one mid-year, which just happened last week. 3 in the morning, 50% off the entire store. Oh, shit. 50% off everything.
Only at 3 p.m.? At
3 in the morning.
3 a.m.
Because if you're that down and if you're that hardcore, you'll fucking come. You know, I don't make it easy. Yeah, I could do it during the day, and then I have a bunch of just people who don't really care for the music. These are the motherfuckers that are really down for it.
How's the turnout in those?
You know, it's been really big. The last two were medium, and they were still good. People picked up on what they wanted to pick up on. The 45s were only a quarter, so a guy walked out with a whole box full of 45s. You know, that's literally dope, for a quarter.
Imagine that shit. 3 a.m. come over here,
dude.
But you know, people come in. You know, a lot of people, what they do is they come in from like partying and whatever. So you get a lot of drunk guys coming in. They're like trying to dig around while they're all buzzed. But you know, I have a couple. You know, I want to give a big shout out to one of my big customers, Eva. She comes in here, man, and she is 3 a.m. She's at 5. No matter what I do, she'll come in here and she knows her shit. She'll put most of my diggers to shame.
Wow. When do you plug this, or how often do you do this?
I do it only once. I only do it. The next one is going to be on Black Friday. That will be coming up. Black Friday.
Later this year.
After Thanksgiving meal, we'll be here at 3 in the morning. 50% off everything for 2 hours. We do it for 2 hours, so we do that
3 to 5.
Yeah, 3 to 5 in the morning, and it's just 50% off everything. So you can get $100 record. Get $100 record for $50.
You know what we got to do? We got to do the barbecue turkey again in a trash bag.
Oh, the trash can turkey.
Yeah, trash can turkey, and bring it over here, dude.
What's that?
Oh, dude, it's the best turkey I've ever had.
Really? Trash can turkey?
One of our friends. For Thanksgiving,
I gotta hear this shit.
One of our
Sounds
friends,
relatively
shout out
hobo.
to Danny Hump's brother. He barbecued. He smoked a turkey for like 9 hours, and we're like drinking already. We're gonna head over to Chris's house, and we're like, dude, just put that shit in a trash can or a trash bag. So he's like, all right, because you're supposed to let it sit for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
He puts it in the trash bag, and we put it in the back of the car, and we head over to his house.
These fuckers showed up with a trash bag of turkey and fucking
So
beer and alcohol.
Yeah, so we're fucking.
I don't fucking know. I'm just chilling. Because
Hey, you're not here, Dick.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Didn't you come? You came back? Or you got dropped off? So you got a transfer? Showed up? You got a transfer all of a sudden? You showed up back and shit, or what?
Yeah, I got a transfer.
Oh, okay, you got a
The
transfer.
Wookiee's not here, Dick. Yeah, so we had a bunch of beer and like we started getting real hungry. Like, hey, dude, let's go just get something to eat. And like, oh, the fucking turkey. So we bring out the turkey. We start taking chunks out. Most tender. I mean, fucking just perfection, dude.
Really?
Perfection.
So
how about we have that outside while they're
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
come
dude.
outside and
I
eat.
don't fucking celebrate Thanksgiving for shit. Cause
No,
I'm
here we
fucking,
fucking go, dude.
okay, yeah, I don't celebrate.
Here we
I'm-
fucking
I'm-
go,
I'm-
dude.
he's a
I'll turn off
Native
his
American.
mic.
Native American.
I'm Indian, so I don't celebrate it. So it's
How?
No. How, like Kanye said, like red dot or feather.
feather. So, but my buddy had some troubles,
Uh-huh.
you know, and it was gonna be his first Thanksgiving alone. So me and my girl, we said, you know what, let's go to fucking Boston Market, pick up some shit. and
Dressed
invite
up
him.
like pilgrims.
Yeah, dress up like pilgrims, and just have something for him, you know. So we just fucking had like a little fucking chicken because all the turkeys were gone, right?
Uh-huh.
And we're outside smoking, and all of a sudden these fucking guys come up with a big trash bag, and they're like, "Hey!" Like, half drunk already. They were already half drunk when they got.
Really?
Yeah. So, but I'm anti-Thanksgiving. But
But you didn't go to now. Did you go to school for free? Did you use any of your Native American ability to get all that?
Yeah, he could have got college.
Yeah,
for free,
I have a
man.
couple of friends that are Native American. They went to college for free.
Yep.
For free.
I am-
Everything free.
it's just
F-R-E-E.
something that you don't. I guess you got to understand, and I don't want to get too fucking all into this.
Oh no, we're getting into
We're
this.
just
No,
gonna make
getting
fun of
into
him,
this.
dude.
We're
Yeah.
getting into this.
You're on the spotlight right now. We're about
I've
to
been-
turn these fuckers around on you right now.
But I don't share my political opinions
Uh-huh.
to anyone.
Yeah.
But that thing I had a big problem with because first of all, they make you jump through all kinds of hoops.
Oh, do they? Okay, see, I don't know.
Hoops. That's how stoned I am. I'm
Yeah,
saying
hoops.
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 They go to hoops.
Hoops.
That's the Indian word for hoops.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hoops
Yeah,
means
hoops.
hoops.
Indian word for hoops? For hoops?
Okay.
No, so the
So I just
big
figured like
criteria to go through it.
I don't think they can replace what they've taken away.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all that reparation bullshit. I don't think I don't believe in it.
Always remember the knee.
Yeah, that's because I'm part
Yeah.
I'm part Sioux Indian
Okay.
and I'm part Pima. So
Okay.
I'm full-blooded Indian.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that wounded knee joke that this fucking cocksucker said.
No, Dick, I didn't mean it as a joke. I sincerely
Yeah, because
mean it. Always
that was
remember the knee.
The Battle of the Wounded Knee was between the Sioux Indians,
I see.
and
I
they have
see.
a book. The book's called "Bury My Heart in the Wounded Knee."
It
I
was
think I read that book.
it was more than a massacre than it was a battle, because Custer's army went in there and fucking executed everybody.
Yeah, it was a massacre.
Really? Really? See, crazy.
So.
Now we're
That's
getting off
why
the
we always
records.
say-
Now we're getting off the record
Yeah.
subject.
I know. Always
Record. We are in a
But
record.
that was-
shop.
that was-
We're in a
all right,
record
good
shop.
night.
Do it and do it.
That statement was
yeah,
off
yeah.
the record.
sexual
Yeah.
chocolate.
Off the record.
Sexual chocolate.
We already said your address before, but say it again.
Oh, son of a bitch, that thing's not up.
Hold on.
Oh, hold on.
You got
It's
it
7028.
That is 7028. Ladies, got it.
Fuck, do you remember that
Damn.
shit?
This fucker's memory, dude, is so fucking...
He remembers his, like, what was it? Your credit card number?
Fucking muscle
yeah.
milk, dog. It's that muscle milk. Get your fucking
He remember he
jacked up.
ordered
Oh, yeah,
that
that's
pizza
fine.
you
Oh,
ordered.
yeah,
fucked
the
up.
pizza. It's
Okay.
Yeah, credit card number by memory.
All right, so...
Yeah.
Ready.
All right, so just as a reminder, we're at...
Mxxnshine Records here in Uptown Whittier. And I am located at 7028 Greenleaf Avenue, Unit H. In the walkway here between the movie theater. You can't miss us. We're actually right next to the Uptown Barbers who've been here forever.
And man, you guys gotta understand that this is a very, you guys will not be disappointed walking in here. You guys will pick up one of the finest vinyl collections. Anything you guys want to get, it's here, man. I mean, I've been here for the past year. I'm never disappointed.
Motherfucker got some wham on the wall.
Yeah. I mean, Manny here, he's a shit, man. He knows his shit.
Thank you.
If you guys want to just come over here and just talk music with him, he's up for it. Just like he talked to us on the podcast. He can talk to you guys here, man. And this is, you guys, you know what? Just come down. That's all I got to say. Just come down, chill, you know, buy him some beer, weed, whatever the fuck you want to do. Just come
You
down,
know what?
man.
We got to thank you for your hospitality here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And for your weed, your beer.
Yeah, the weed.
For the record,
The weed had him quiet for about a good 20 minutes. Though
That's
the
what we
first,
need.
for the record,
We need about a
Chris
pound of
is
that
speaking for
shit.
Himself.
Chris was
Chris
not
is
made
speaking for
known
himself.
for the first 20
yeah.
minutes.
I'm the one that smoked the weed.
This is my first time here in this record shop, and I'm fucking blown away by all this fucking vintage shit that you have in here. I'm definitely gonna come over here and dig around and add to my collection here. I'm very happy that I found another really good record store to add to my, list of places that I want to frequent. So thank you for that, and
Thank you.
and I thank you, Boggle, for fucking getting me into collecting vinyl, brother.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah, and you know what? Thank you to Bago to actually even throw it out to even have you guys come here and want to do the shop, and actually bring what he does here. That's special to me,
I think it's important that we, aside from being a music podcast, that we, our setting should be, places like this, a record store and stuff like that. It just kind of adds to the, to the aesthetic and what it is that we're trying to promote.
Yeah,
So.
definitely.
We have a live DJ show coming up pretty soon too.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
So that'll be fucking
Check
awesome.
all social medias
Yep.
for that.
And also, I gotta give a shout out to my brother for one, erasing all of Chris's fucking MTV recordings.
Thank you for
And two, he's the one. My brother got me my first vinyl. Actually,
Nice.
he goes, "Hey, what music do you like?" I'm like, "Name a few." He's like, "First one I named was Portishead, Sick of It All, shit like that." And he fucking next thing I know, there's a delivery at my door. He started ordering all this shit from Amazon for me. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I don't have a record player. Oh, I got one of those for you too.
Funny that you said
Wow.
Sick of It All. I have one of Sick of It All's very first 45s.
Oh, dude.
Red 45s with the original liner notes in it. I'll show it to you right now.
sale.
Wow.
For sale, and it
I'm
goes
buying
for
it.
some money. It's a pretty rare record.
Wow.
It's,
How much?
200.
Oh,
Yeah. Ooh.
hey, I'll sell you an Indian if
But-
you want.
Hey now.
You
My
got
very own Indian?
Yeah, you got your very own vintage Indian here.
Can I name
Never
him?
been used before. All right.
I could stand outside your store like a cigar shop.
Oh.
But yeah, man, it's very man, it's very, very good experience, man. I loved it. I loved the experience today, man. It was cool.
Thank you guys, man. I don't normally. I'm normally this is I'm an old man, and this is normally my bedtime. But this is great. This is really an amazing experience. You guys all have your unique individual attitudes towards this. So I see why you guys are successful and what you guys do. And thank you guys for letting me be a part of what you guys do. That's really cool. We're in each other's dream. It's like a dream fuck right now. It's pretty amazing.
So we are La Clika and we're signing off.
Oh yeah.
Peace.
Goodbye.
All right.
Goodbye.